right, well, let's try that again. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. So wait, you guys didn't hear my new intro song? Maybe the screen didn't share properly? I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but just the first line. What happened? What happened? You aren't hearing this? Wait for the lyrics.
Here is the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Morty the overlord, in the chair the party is empty.
All right, so we'll have to try that again next time. But yes, we've got a custom song. We're going to get a video to go through it. Welcome to the party. Shout out to Liberty Plus TV, said like Tim Pool's band. I will take that. Shout out to Chris Katz in the building. Wolf and Cub, very good to see you guys. A very interesting show for us tonight. Usually we are, talking about people who we agree with, or there is somebody that we agree with taking down somebody we don't agree with. And as Lone Wolf said, who's better between Ana Kasparian and Bill Maher? It's going to be tough to choose, but that is our goal here tonight. So let's, she was just on the Club Random podcast. You may have seen some clips, but, let's dive right into it. As always, guys, if you can't hear the video, please do let me know.
Like, distill them as one political viewpoint and nothing more, I think is unfair to them. And people change, by the way. I've changed, right?
Right.
And going through that evolution has made me far more empathetic to people overall.
Change is good.
Change is excellent. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing.
So I skipped a little bit about how they're all like, well, the left is great and we're so good and everybody else is bad and blah, 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 blah. And then they start to get into it. We also got Guam Tag. Welcome. Said liked and shared. My goodness, guys, you know how much that stuff really, really, really does help. And it is free and it's easy. And again, it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you share. Just by you telling the platform that you want people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you. We got Death Poet in the building. Welcome to the party. Let me just say, Bill is better because he's genuinely a drunk and senile. Anna is fake as fuck. Interesting. What you mean? You remember. What you mean my real voice? This is what it is all the goddamn time. So, we'll do that later. Because apparently, I don't know, they said I hear nothing when I asked the music. We were like, oh, I'm also deaf, so I don't hear anything. So I don't know if the music played at the beginning of the thing, but I wasn't going to go play the whole other song again. But we are going to get that worked out. But, all right, let's dive into this, guys.
People overall.
Change is good.
Change is excellent. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing stupider in politics than people who say, well, he's changed his position. Yeah, he was 18.
Yeah,
he grew.
Totally.
He got new information came along. Flip,
God damn it.
flop, flip, flop.
And this is where, because this is coming into already bringing up Nick Fuentes, where I feel like his is still of that 18-year-old kid who was getting shit online from Ben Shapiro.
Now,
Totally.
if it's generated by logic, flip-flop is good. It means you grew. You learned something new.
Totally.
You went with the facts. You weren't stuck in, no, I believed it when I was 12 and I believe it now. Girls have cooties. That's my position.
It's ridiculous. I mean, also...
And Nick does think that.
It's okay to change your mind if you won, the policies you want have been implemented, and it turns out the policies suck and you don't like them.
Yep, that would be me. I am very happy with my vote for Donald Trump, but that doesn't mean that I like most of what he's doing. Actually, I'll say most I do like, but there's too much that I don't.
Right? I mean, it's okay to admit, oh, this didn't work out. Let's recalibrate. And that was my big issue with Democrats and California in particular, where it's like, oh, we have done some of these criminal justice reforms And they've been kind of
Oh,
disastrous.
so much. I mean, if
Right?
I could list just the things that the left has done that they think are helping, that are counter to their own goals.
They're literally
That's how
getting
much
people
your head is up
killed.
your ass. You know, defunding the police,
Well,
which, you know, like didn't help African Americans who usually want more police, not corrupt police.
it's even worse than that.
But
It's even
they
worse than that.
want more police. It's so racist. They think they're being anti-racist, and actually it's being very racist to assume.
Wait, hold on. Shout out to Equality Never saying no to you at all. You can't hear me at all? I think that's on your end, because I'm pretty sure you guys would have told me something if you can't hear me at all, right? As always, if you cannot hear me or the video, please do let me know.
Black people is saying, well, aren't they the criminals? We can't have a lot of cops around them. No, they're not.
So a really good friend of mine who does consulting for media, like, would send me polls. And the polls were about, you know, Black Americans and how they feel about policing and what they want. Do they want to defund policing? Do they want to keep the funding levels the same? Do they want to increase policing? And I was shocked. Poll advocated, no, they don't want to cut funding for policing. In fact,
No.
the problem they have with policing is that they don't feel that the police force in their community is doing enough to keep them safe in their communities, which is very similar to what was happening in the 1990s. Like, if you go back and watch local news reports out of LA, for instance, in the 1990s, one of the biggest complaints from, you know, people living in, at the time it was South Central, now it's considered South LA. One of the biggest complaints was, we don't see enough police keeping our communities safe. And
no, it's always the liberal elites, typically white, that are always like, I know what's best for this community that I have no connection to, have never talked to anybody that lives there. Shout out to Equality and Deference, because vagina. Over on Rumble. Welcome again. Said, liked, and shared, guys. That really, really does help. Thank you so very, very much.
So the data is the data. You can't
Right.
manipulate hard facts.
Yeah,
And for me, when I signed on to criminal justice reform, what I thought I was signing on to was, we're going to reform our prisons. Our prisons shouldn't be torturing people. Prison rape shouldn't just be accepted, right? I want this to be more than just punitive. I want to rehabilitate people. I want to have a situation in which they pay the price for their crime, but they're also being rehabilitated so that when they get out, they're able to be productive members of society. We didn't.
I think there's a big, I don't even know what the word is, but this notion of, we want to punish people the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. And I don't subscribe to that. Like, if you're committing crimes, you can't be part of society. But it's not like, like, I'm not about that. Shout out to Carl. Welcome. Omtech said, I'll give it to both of them. At least they've both admitted they were wrong. Yeah, not something you hear from the left too often.
Actually do much of that in California. Yeah. There's one prison that's been reformed, and it's actually showing really great results.
Transes are not the end of the world that we should change our entire culture for. She's pretty good on that.
And I hope that spreads. But the idea of, oh, we're just not going to punish anyone for pretty much anything is not what I thought I was signing up for. But that's pretty much what we've gotten. And preemptively shutting down, 4 to 5 state prisons without really having a plan in place for what happens to oftentimes like violent inmates was a disastrous idea by Gavin Newsom, to be honest.
I mean, the bizarre...
No argument there.
This bizarre obsession
Mm-hmm.
with putting women, rather men, or at least people with penises.
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble, Bill. You're going to get me in trouble.
Why? There's no trouble for
Because
you.
I'm
Your life
supposed
is trouble.
I'm supposed to be totally okay
There's
with
not
it.
supposed to be. First of all...
Is it locker room? Is that bad?
No. There's...
I definitely also do not want to see a dick in the men's locker room unless it's my own.
No.
I just don't. I don't want to see
And
a
you sh-
cock
and you
in
sh-
the women's locker room.
And you shouldn't. And no woman should. I mean, this is basic 101. And this is, again, to my point about, like, if I just listed, and I could do it for a long time, the things that they do because they're so tripped up by their own ultra-orthodox ideology
Mhm.
that they think that makes them a better person, to be so counterintuitive about all these issues like this, that this makes them the good people, that they're way out ahead on this issue. And you're not. And it's not what people want. And it goes against human nature. And it's not helping. You didn't. Yeah, you want to champion women. And you didn't. You did the opposite. You
I know,
made
because
them
there's the hierarchy.
You made them uncomfortable.
No,
and
100%.
unnecessary.
Everything of the woke left hierarchy is completely inverted from what a normal person should think. We want to protect women, so let's put a bunch of weird dudes with them.
What?
That don't make no sense. Liberty said locker rooms are kind of outdated and kids shouldn't be getting naked at school. Am I crazy? No, but if we're talking about sports, then you can't wear you can't wear your uniform all throughout the day. And then, like, you know, you're sweating and stuff. So, like gym class, and I hear you, but there is a reason that we brought locker rooms in the first place.
100%. Look,
in many ways,
when you see everything as a hierarchy, literally everything's a hierarchy. Then
there you go.
Inevitably, you're going to find yourself in a situation where the rights of one group kind of falls by the wayside.
Right. It's a zero-sum game.
Exactly. And I don't see it that way. I respect transgender people. I do not want to treat them like the others. I want them to have rights. I want them to be treated with dignity and respect.
So do I. I mean, maybe that makes me a liberal, but like, I'm not more of a libertarian person. Leave me alone. Leave innocent people alone. Leave the fucking kids alone, and whatever.
Exactly.
At the same time, I also know what it's like to be a woman living in a state where we've decided self-ID makes the most sense. Okay, well, self-ID doesn't make the most sense.
No.
Because obviously, as you and I both know, there are all sorts of predators out there who are going to take advantage of that situation. And that's already happened, right? So there was that big We Spa story. And it turned out that the so-called transgender woman who was allowed into the women's locker room at a Korean spa in downtown LA,
which was a man,
was not actually a transgender person, was a person who had a long record of, sexual exploitation and assault or whatever, pretended to be transgender, gets into the women's locker room. And I felt so bad because I bought the cover story when it was first reported, but I was wrong to buy it.
And that's exactly it. The lack of understanding that, hey, if we do this, then people are going to hate us. Why are you carrying water for regular, well, I guess not regular, but just plain old creepy men who are going to decide to put on a dress and whatever and do all this crazy shit. And then you're like, hey, that's one of us.
What?
I'm like, all right, if that's one of you, then what you are is not good. Shout out to Mark and Angry Amputee. Welcome to the party. Equality said if you ain't got a dick, you ain't a chick. Yep, exactly. Use the minority to control the majority.
So bad because I bought the cover story when it was first reported, but I was wrong to buy it. I should have asked more questions. And that poor woman, she happened to be a black woman who's complaining at the front desk of We Spa. She was dragged through the mud when in reality, she witnessed this person fondling themselves in the women's locker room.
See, what I would be really appreciative of specifically when it comes to Ana, because I think I genuinely agree with you, generally agree with you guys that Bill is just, he's out there. He'll call out some stuff, and I appreciate that, but he's not moving the needle. Whereas Ana is definitely somebody that people pay attention to. And so it's all well and good to be like, yeah, I was wrong about this. But how about a little bit of, not only was I wrong about this, but part of the reason that this became such a big deal, and that big deal came and bit me in the ass, was because of things that I said. Things that, the ways that I characterized people who did actually know what was going on, who were actually saying, this is not good. She said I'm wrong, but is that enough accountability? I don't know.
She witnessed this person fondling themselves in the women's locker room. Now, this person is not transgender. This is not an indictment of transgender people. It's an indictment of a...
According to them, it is. According to them, well, at least the activists, it definitely is. That's why this movement failed.
Not transgender. This is not an indictment of transgender people. It's an indictment of a policy that was not thought through. And as a result, there are women who are going to suffer. And as a result, there are transgender people who are going to suffer because people are going to make the mistake of thinking, oh, well, that guy was transgender and this is how they behave. No, this is not how they behave. We need to be smarter about these policies. It's that simple.
It's so good to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Really good. I did not expect that.
Really?
Well, in general, you're a lot more reasonable than I thought you would. The fire breathers.
Well, and see, right there, Ana's been one of the most, flip-flopping on the big culture war issues. So the fact that he doesn't even know that Ana's gone through all of this, again, shows how out of touch he is. He's just that boomer guy who thinks I have all the right answers, and that's it. Whenever somebody disagrees with me, they must be wrong because I have all the right answers. Like I said, Bill seems to represent the slightly more informed boomer. Realizes there's a problem, but too old to actually care. Bingo. Well said. Well said.
Well, you're a lot more reasonable than I thought you would. The fire breathers, are always trying to.
I mean, if we start talking about Gaza, I think you're going to disagree with me probably. That's probably where we'd have the most disagreement. But in terms of the transgender...
Guys, I have an announcement. I have an announcement. It's been over 2 years, coming up on 4 if you count the old podcast and the original one. And finally, we have hit 5,000 subscribers. We did it. We did it. Dilly fucking dilly. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. I don't know if you guys, for those of you who were here last winter, I remember being like, oh yeah, we'll definitely be able to hit 5K by the end of the year. That was last year. I got a big bump from DebateCon, but I was stuck at like 4.7 for a good 6-7 months. And wow, guys, it's only you. It's only you guys. I could not have done this without each and every one of you. Literally, because we are at 5,000. So each and every one of you are fucking amazing. Thank you so very, very much. Hey, Daniel with the big 5. Thank you so very, very much. Of course, that comes with a treat for the Overlord. Thank you. And of course, adds to our goal and the Morty Memorial Fund. Guys, we are up at over $1,100 and we are getting started on that stream goal. Guys, thank you. I don't have enough thank yous to give you. You are amazing. It's been a ride, and like I keep telling you guys, it is still way closer to the beginning than it is to the end. Thank you once again. Let's dive right back in.
Always trying to.
I mean, if we start talking about Gaza, I think you're going to disagree with me probably. That's probably where we'd have the most disagreement. But in terms of the transgender issue...
Well, maybe later. Maybe
we're
later.
going to get there. Don't you worry.
I will definitely carve you into little pieces on that one.
I don't know about that, Bill.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
But
on this one, I'm first of all, good for you for saying that. I say it all the time. It's no shame to say, oh, I believe the cover story.
Shout out again to our new sponsor of the stream, Daniel Z. Welcome. We also got our boy Adam, captain of the Moral Felon crew. Welcome. Said it's Red Panty Night. Hell yeah. And oh my goodness, 27 months. I don't even remember where we were. And now we are here. Thank you so very, very much. Well, no, he's obviously black. Oh, you're on the Verge stream, right? He's obviously black. You could see it. We got a Maverick being Frank. Welcome. So if you change your views, you get more followers. Never too late to jump on the Deport Atheists bandwagon. Fair enough, but I'm going to stay true to you guys. Thank you so very, very much. Oh, my goodness. I am over the moon right now. Over the moon. Thank you so very much. Let's keep the party raging.
I mean, it's no shame to say, oh, I believe the cover story.
Yeah, I do.
Because the cover story just means that everybody has their own narrative. Nobody pursues the truth on either side. You have to work really hard.
Yes.
But since it's my job, I do, to get the full story. Nobody ever prints if you read the New York Times and the New York Post, it's like these two, it's just funny to do it because
I will say, early on in his life, we just happened to be in a number of situations where there were black people and it was like they scared him or something. Not even like on purpose, but there was a period of time where I did feel like I have to be a little bit more careful with him around black people. But that's him. That ain't me. That ain't me. We got Never Lucky Robert Ducky. Welcome to the party. Said just so I could sub again. So I'm not gonna do unless we get another like 15 or so in the next 2 days, which I don't think we are going to get. I'm gonna hold off on the 5K party, because the last thing I want is like, oh, 5K party, and then 3 people fucking unsubscribe who are just like, oh yeah, I forgot I was subscribed to that channel. So we're gonna put that off, but we are gonna do something special. The disciples. You guys are the disciples. Welcome to the party, everybody.
New York Post. It's like these two, which is, it's just funny to do it, because it's like, oh, I see what you left out. Oh, I see what you
totally.
I see what you left out. It's not
Yep.
that it's not that either one of you. Oh, of course, they both lie to a degree,
Yeah,
and the
right.
New York Post is just sometimes just flat out funny in how they do it. But
They
they
omit.
just omit.
Yes.
And you know, but like you sound like, and I say this as a compliment, J.K. Rowling, because this is her thing. And I don't know if you saw her take apart Emma Watson.
No,
See,
I didn't see that.
there's something that was not reported in the New York Times that I saw. Like we don't see that. We don't notice this. This is not worthy of comment, and it so fucking was. And of course, in the New York Post, they loved it.
Wait, what was it?
Emma Watson.
Oh,
Yep.
Emma Watson. Shout out to J.K. Rowling.
And of course, in the New York Post, they loved it because J.K. Rowling, brilliant J.K. Rowling. I mean, not that I've ever read Harry Potter. To me, it's a children's book, but maybe someday.
Same, yeah.
You know,
Right
okay,
there with
but
you.
a great one. I'm sure got kids reading. But I just love her because, you know, she just says it. And she finally had enough of Emma Watson, super woke, and, you know, one of the useful idiots, also on things like Gaza. And so, like, you know, which tells you something that her views on Gaza were just as crazy, I think, as her views on, you know, on the women thing. And, you know, J.K. Rowling was just unmerciful. She was like, well, you know, this is not an issue for you because when you go into a public bathroom, you have a bodyguard who stands outside the door, you know, and
like we said, the liberal elite.
She talked about how, you know, when I was your age, I didn't have all this privilege that you're always so hateful. I was home working on the book that made you a star. You know, it was.
I mean, god damn, dilly, J.K. Rowling. While you're out here bitching about shit, I was at home making you fucking famous. God damn.
On the book that made you a star. You know, it was, she just wasn't having it anymore.
Yeah. You do get to a point where, and I think on a lot of issues, I'm at that point where you're just sick of the BS on both sides, right? And you want to cut through all of it. And look, honestly, you're never going to get to the truth if you're only relying on partisan media. And that's what I was doing. I was very much in a bubble. I didn't realize I was in a bubble. So now it's like, I have to eat my vegetables. To me, eating vegetables.
And I think this is fair. I didn't realize I was in a bubble. But again, I don't see enough of, because I was in that bubble, I was doing a lot and saying a lot that made everything worse. Yeah, it's okay to recognize that you change. It's okay to change course. But I feel like there's just not enough understanding of how detrimental people like Anna and Bill actually are. Even though we might argue that they're one of the better, or a couple of the better liberals, there's still a lot there. A lot of damage.
I have to eat my vegetables. To me, eating vegetables as someone who works in media is reading and consuming content that you know is going to make you uncomfortable because it's going to challenge what your preconceived notions are. If you're listening to a podcast...
The truth never makes me uncomfortable. It only exhilarates me.
I mean...
no matter where it's...
Sure, Bill. You mean like when when Dennis Prager was talking about the Farions and the litter box in school? That's not happening. You love the truth, right? The truth that aligns with what you already think.
Podcast.
The truth never makes me uncomfortable. It only exhilarates me.
I mean...
no matter where it's, you know, on whatever side it is.
Yeah.
And
you want to talk about a little bit of Shoot 2000 then? You want to get exhilarated, right? I can exhilarate you.
I know you're going to say genocide, and I'm going to say, well, you don't know what the word means. And it's like, if you don't even know what the words mean.
I'm Armenian.
So condescending. So condescending. You, little girl, don't even know what this word means. The thing that you do for a living. I mean, we may agree or disagree on what she is determining a genocide and how she feels about that genocide. But to act like she doesn't know what it means?
Come on, man.
I'll never forgive Anna because I was TYT obsessed when I was young and dumb. It did actual damage to my life. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That it's not, I mean, I don't necessarily see a direct line in my own personal life of like actual damage. I definitely was a never Trumper and was paying attention to the Young Turks in 2015. But that was just the landscape. I didn't know much. I didn't really know where to go. So there's a lot of accountability there. But like I said, damage was done.
Know what the word means, and it's like if you don't even know what the words means.
I'm Armenian. I know what the word means.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's when you try to wipe out an entire population of people, which they didn't come close to doing.
Did you just mansplain? Did you just mansplain, Bill? Yeah, I know what it is. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the definition.
I mean,
they prosecuted a war in which they were attacked, which everybody gets to do.
Which, by the way, let me just say, if they were literally going after Hamas, that is legitimate. That's totally legitimate. But that's not what's happening.
Hamas hides in tunnels underneath hospitals. You can't go in.
Hold on.
Hamas is the bad guy. If you don't get that.
No.
All right, Anna Cook. Bill got the $7,000.
You don't get much.
What Hamas did on October 7th was disgusting. Killing. I mean, I don't make it. I don't.
Again, like, bro, like that's not. Yeah, she is Armenian. Irony with the Young Turks, not lost on us. But what was he just? Oh, he was just clapping at this, like
disgusting. Killing. I mean, I don't.
The condescension is never ending. He cannot speak without condescension, which is again a very core part of things that you see with these liberal elites.
I don't at all hold back on that. In fact,
that's the easiest thing in the world to say. Nobody disagrees. Nobody disagrees.
There are people who disagree. Actually,
raping baby. Yes, there are.
There are people who think I'm wrong because Hamas.
Right.
They're freedom fighters. What kind of freedom are we talking about here?
That people see Hamas, the people who hate oppression so much, are on the side of the people. And that's not just Hamas. If you social justice warriors, if you have any other issue besides gender apartheid in the world that is above that, you're just a joke. I
don't think so. I remember from Religulous, he was talking about going to church. So I don't think so.
Apartheid in the world that is above that, you're just a joke. That if you hate oppression, there is one issue which should be above all because it affects more people, hundreds of millions of women who have basically no freedom in the Muslim world.
Right. So we should slaughter them instead, which is what's been happening.
Well, you should prosecute a war to the end. That does involve slaughter of everyone.
And so he's half.
A war to the end. That does involve slaughter of every war.
I think, listen, civilians get killed in wars. I think everyone knows that. Everyone acknowledges that.
Especially when you hide behind them.
But when 83%, according to the IDF's own data, and this is report, by the way, I consume Israeli media on this. I don't consume American media on this. And Israeli media is super honest, way more honest than our media is. So when the IDF's own data indicates that 83% of the people that they've killed are civilians.
Because they hide behind them.
But Bill, do you understand?
There's nothing we can do. We just have to blow up innocent people. There's no other way to do anything here. Shout out to Mike Brown said, Bill Maher is way smarter than Ana Kasparian. There is a way that I can agree with you. Okay, tell me why. There is a way that I can agree with you, but there's a way that I might not agree with you. So say more, and we'll figure it out. Gontek said, Jews! I'll take. What would be the thing to bring the extreme right and extreme left together for $100, Alex? I mean, there's definitely coalition around not liking Israel, but if that became more of a kitchen table thing, then I think we would be a little bit better off.
Are civilians.
Because they hide behind them.
But Bill, Do you understand that by killing so many civilians, they are essentially multiplying extremism?
I do understand that.
Insurgent math. Insurgent math.
Do you understand that there's very often in the world two very bad choices, and you only?
I mean, I'm an American. I have to vote in presidential elections. Yes, I do know that.
Okay, you don't have the good choice. You have the bad choice and the even worse choice.
So I'm choosing the worst choice because I'm just right.
Israel has been being attacked by Hamas. First of all, the entire Arab world rejected them for 75 years. They kept trying to make a deal. They kept saying, no, we want it all. That's what from the river to the sea means. It means we want it all. We don't want a compromise. They've never wanted a compromise. Israel gave Gaza back.
But did they? But Bill,
in
let's say our country was occupied by Mexico, right? We have a
Mjolnir's Wrath, welcome, said Bill Maher may be an asshole, but at least he's a fair asshole. She's just a delusional moron. I don't know. Is he a fair asshole? I don't think he is a fair asshole. And I think the level of delusion with Ana has been on maybe not a sharp decline, but certainly a decline. You know?
But Bill,
let's
say our country was occupied by Mexico, right? We have a bunch of people who are occupying our land, and then they decide,
you know what, we're going to leave. Hold on, let me finish. They weren't occupying
Let me finish. Let's say Mexico decides, you know what, we're going to leave, but we're going to control their electricity, what goes in, what comes out.
Because they were attacking
We're going to mow the...
And this is why I wanted to cover this. This is why I want to cover these two talking, because they are very good represent. Look at that freeze frame. Look at that freeze frame. They're both good representations of the different factions of the, I'll say, mainstream left. Obviously, you know, you got your tankies and your straight up commies and stuff like that. But in terms of the woke left and the boomer left, and more of the alternative left, I think they're both good representations. What is going on here? They're both good representations of those groups, and seeing how not only do they think, but what do they think about each other? That is the good stuff. Look at that. One more second on that freeze frame. Come
on. And just like randomly decide we're going to slaughter people because they allegedly threw rocks. They have literally nuclear.
Well, they didn't allegedly.
I mean, Israel has nuclear weapons, Bill. They have nuclear weapons.
And they don't. And
they have the world's military superpower backing them.
Right. Well, they have nuclear weapons which they don't use. If Hamas
no, they don't use it, but just pretend
if Hamas had a nuclear weapon, how many seconds would it take before they used it on Israel?
I have no idea.
3. 3's the answer. 3 seconds.
He's like, I know the future, that if they were going to do this is exactly what they would do. Okay, and if you don't listen to me and accept that what I say is the incontrovertible truth, then you're stupid. Okay.
I have no idea.
3. 3's the answer. 3 seconds.
How do you know that, Bill? Come on.
Because it's in their charter.
If they use a nuclear weapon against Israel, I'm pretty sure the very land that Hamas cares about would be done for.
Okay, then they would be martyrs, and that would be a good thing, because that's their death cult view of the world. It's a good thing when you die. That's why they strap suicide vests sometimes on children. The fact that you can't see the moral difference between these two sides always amazes me among people.
I actually don't see the moral difference when you have like Bezalel Smotrich and Ben Gvir literally talking about exterminating the entire population of Gaza.
Okay, they're not talking about...
And these are not... They are. I mean, the statements are brazen. They're upfront. They're honest. This is what they actually want to do.
Well,
I mean, the West Bank is another example. The West Bank had nothing to do with what happened on October 7th, but they're annexing that.
If you're asking me, do not deny that at all.
That land anyway. They're raining terror on innocent people, innocent Palestinians. They're driving them out of their homes. Like, listen, I am willing to admit, because it's the truth, that what Hamas did on October 7th was a fucking atrocity.
Oh, wow.
Killing innocent people.
Who couldn't admit that?
But you have a difficult time.
But again, the condescension is like she's trying to establish, okay, we both obviously agree that October 7th was bad. But then we go beyond that and we talk about what's been happening since then. And it's not just, oh, poor Israel, they're just in the country. And that's how the boomer minded people are, especially on the right. But I mean, I guess you see it on the left too. And usually you can tie it to the religiosity, but you know, he's not religious. Shout out to Candyman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said Bill's old school liberalism. This lady is new school liberalism. They lack critical thinking skills. And again, knowing the difference between how these two operate, these two individuals and these two groups operate, is important. Shout out to the Rage page. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very good to see ya.
Fucking atrocity.
Oh, wow.
Killing innocent people.
Who couldn't admit that?
But you have a difficult time at least acknowledging the atrocities that have been committed against innocent civilians in Gaza.
Well, it depends on what you call an atrocity. All wars are going to have atrocities.
A double tap on a hospital? A double tap on a hospital? So when the first responders show up?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. Okay, listen, I know about this. You don't actually know what genocide means, okay? You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Like, fair. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm not trying to act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to Israel. I just don't want my tax dollars going to some conflict where it doesn't seem like anybody actually wants to win. They just want to kill. After that, I don't know.
A hospital? So when the first responders show up?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I vaguely remember the thing.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, that's an old terrorist trick. Mm-hmm. That's what they do all the time.
Okay, but are you at least going to acknowledge that the IDF doing that was wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, by that logic, Bill, this is an old terrorist trick. You just mentioned Israel doing an old terrorist trick. Can we agree that that's bad, regardless of whether it is a response to anything or not? What are we talking about? Hey, I was hoping Box would be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very good to see you. Let's dive right in. Yeah, exactly. I'm not about that.
All the time.
Okay, but are you at least going to acknowledge that the IDF doing that was wrong?
Yeah, I'm sure they have committed what we would call war crimes, as every army does in every war.
Right, including our own, right?
In every war, including the Civil War. I forget who it was who made the good point. Like, during the Civil War, a lot of people would say, especially in the South, that Sherman did not have to burn Atlanta quite as badly as he did. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, we were pretty brutal. But would you...
Well, in the past, people have been brutal. So even though they're being brutal now, it doesn't mean anything bad, okay?
As badly as he did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, we were pretty brutal. But would you also then just say, well, we don't know who the good guys were in that war? No, I think it was the North. I think that...
Okay, who's the good guy in this war then? Oh, nobody. Nobody. Shout out to Mortgaz Hammer over on Rumble. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Said, liked, and shared. Oh, my goodness, guys. Thank you so very, very much. That is how we got to 5K tonight. We got to 5K tonight because of people like you liking the video, sharing the video. It doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just by telling the platform, I want more people to see this, they will show it to more people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said, when Hamas kills civilians, horrific atrocities. When Israel kills way more civilians, well, it's just collateral damage. Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Well, we don't know who the good guys were in that war. No, I think it was the North. I think that they committed the atrocity in Atlanta. Yeah, that's true. They burned when they shouldn't, and they were very rough on the South. They were still the good guys. They were fighting against slavery as Israel is fighting to survive. And also, you know, they are the front line in the Western world.
I totally disagree with you on this entirely.
How was America the good guy in this war? I'm not saying like, oh, we are so bad, like, lashes. I'm not saying that. But what exactly do you mean by this?
Are the front line in the Western world.
I totally disagree with you on this entirely. Well, I think much of the problems we have in the Middle East is due to the enabling of this look, it's an expansionist policy. If Israel wasn't trying to continue expanding in the Middle East, so I don't think they would be dealing with the enemies that they're dealing with.
They've never been asked. They've never been trying to expand.
They're trying to annex the West Bank right now, and Lebanon, southern Lebanon, and Syria, which they've succeeded in.
These are all places that they were attacked from. When they became a country in 1947, they said, "Okay, we will accept half a loaf." They had as much right to that land as anybody. There was a continual presence there since 1000 BC when
we being America.
King David had a kingdom.
I don't care about that at all.
Okay, but it's relevant. It's relevant to keep. It's
relevant.
You
can't wipe out innocent people.
Oh, and so when I know a thing, When I know something, it's the most important relevant factor, okay? But when I don't know something about where you're, well, that doesn't matter.
Okay, but it's relevant.
But you can't.
It's relevant to people. It's
you
relevant
can't wipe out innocent people because you used to live there like centuries ago.
You're calling them colonizers. They're not colonizers.
They're expanding and they're annexing land. That's what colonizers do.
First of all, again, they were willing to take half a loaf. Then they were attacked in 19. Excuse me.
It's way more complicated than that, but it's okay.
Well, I don't know if you know the history.
I do really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me the war.
So, for instance,
when were they attacked? What wars?
Okay, so in 1967, when
that was the first time.
No, that wasn't the first time.
When was it?
But when you say that they have offered land to the Palestinians, land that belonged to them in the first place,
it didn't belong solely to them.
The whole point of this whole two-state solution was, okay, we'll give you this territory if you promise not to militarize. Without a military, you don't have a country. You don't have a country without a military. You don't have a country without borders, right? Without a military, you can't defend your borders. So if I were...
And even now, look at that fucking face. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's such a dick.
Military, you can't.
Oh my God, I can't believe this bitch is saying things that don't align exactly with what I think. Okay, can't you just do it better? Okay.
Without a military, you don't have a country without borders, right? Without a military, you can't defend your borders. So
if you did that in front of me, if you invited me into your house to talk about this stuff, and then we were just, it's not like we've been yelling back and forth. It's not like we're saying crazy shit. This is heavily, hotly debated. And I give you my opinion. I'm going to feel some type of way about that. Candyman said, it does humor me. You can be black, white, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, gay, straight in Israel. Can't be those things in Palestine. Yep, Bill needs to take a nap. Islam built its mosque on the remnants of the second temple of the Jews. How can they proclaim to be first? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how it started. I just definitely know that they ain't trying to end it.
I were engaging in these negotiations with the Israelis, I would say, listen, I respect the territory that you're offering. However, we need to militarize. We need to protect our borders. To me, that's a big thing.
But that's not what they ever used it for. Again, they gave Gaza back in 2005. They could have chosen...
They didn't give Gaza back in... They left Gaza, but didn't really leave Gaza when they have complete control over the territory.
Because they kept being attacked. Just let me finish one sentence.
Go ahead.
They could have turned Gaza into a state that was much more like, I don't know, Dubai or something, if they wanted to. They didn't. Hamas took over right away. They never had elections after that.
You're right about that. You're right about the elections,
They're a terrorist mafia. Their own population is terrorized by them. They don't like them. All they did was import weapons from Iran, build tunnels, and use it to prosecute this war against Israel. They never used it. So, of course, Israel is going to be defensive. Their issue was they were not defensive enough, which is why October 7th happened.
So you're making good point.
I thought he was saying afterwards. I thought he was saying afterwards. Well, Israel should have done more. What? No. But he's saying before that.
Which is why October 7th happened.
So you're making good points. I'm going to concede to some of them. Not all of them, but
oh my God! Oh my God! I
about this.
I know. I'll ask you one more question.
It's frustrating because
my problem is, okay, even if I concede entirely to everything you're saying, how about a little bit of ire directed toward Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the guy who facilitated the funding and has totally admitted to facilitating the funding of Hamas? Why did he prop up Hamas? Because he wanted to essentially discredit the PLO. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of whatabouts you can say.
But it's not a whataboutism.
Oh my God, the liberal cope. Well, what about this? You said what about? Therefore, you're talking about a different thing. That's not what a whataboutism is. That's not what that means. If she was talking, well, what about when Russia did this and then that would be a whataboutism. And is compromised. She is controlled opposition. You guys never, ever fail to find a way to make everything into a conspiracy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of whatabouts you can say.
But it's not a whataboutism. The very man who propped up Hamas is now saying that he needs to fight them.
I mean...
And now he's also funding Abu Shabab. Why are you funding Abu Shabab, who's also who has ties to ISIS?
These things are not wrong. It just looks like you're looking for something
to
make a false equivalency.
This is what I want. I want Palestinians to live in their own territory I want them to be able to govern themselves. I want Israelis to live in peace and safety.
Then
and
stop
we're
attacking
never
them.
Gonna,
Then
no, I'm
stop
going to attack them
attacking
as long as they're doing what they're currently
They're doing in retaliation for
It's not
being
retaliation.
attacked. Of course it is. They've been attacked. They were encircled. Lebanon. Why are they in Lebanon? Because Hezbollah was attacking from there.
Right, in response to what they're doing in Gaza, yes.
Well, before that, they've had 4 wars there.
Was it when they were trying to annex land from southern Lebanon that they were attacking?
They were not trying to annex land. They were trying to put a border between the country that was continually attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
If we were being attacked from Canada, I imagine we would want a little border between Maine and Canada.
True.
I don't think you
But while
really
building that border, we wouldn't then
I don't know
take
where,
a little
I don't
bit
know
of
where
southern
on TikTok
Canada
you're
for
getting
ourselves.
this information.
No, it's not TikTok. I'm
But
very well read on this. Very well read on this. I care about this issue a lot.
I see.
I do. Yeah.
Let me ask you.
You don't agree with me, so your opinion must be from TikTok. And by the way, I've learned some good shit on TikTok.
One question, and then maybe we can get off it. Because otherwise, I just want to go. I want to go have dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in this.
Yeah.
It's not really.
And if they had spent the whole time talking about Israel, I would not have covered this.
What I started a podcast for. You seem
I
seem to
know.
be itching to get to it, and now that you have, I'm not going to back down on it because
I don't want you
I'm
to.
not Jewish.
I'm not going to back down.
Accuse you of being.
I'm not going to back down. How did we start this stream? With him saying, "Well, change is good. Change means that you're taking in new information and you're understanding something new." I'm not going to give in. You can't make this shit up. I will never stop defending TikTok until you can show me why YouTube or X or any of those is better. Then I'll stop. Morgat said, when you occupy other people's lands, it tends to piss them off. Indeed.
Jewish, and then it wouldn't matter if you were.
No, but I'm saying I do this because I think it's the right thing and because I feel like I know the history and the politics of it.
I respect your perspective.
Okay,
yeah.
But if you had to live in the Middle East, so tomorrow, Anna, you got to go live in the Middle East. Where would you live? You can pick one city, any city. You can, as far away as say Pakistan. You could live in Karachi. You could live in Cairo. You could live in Amman, Jordan.
Where would you live? Where would you live if you had to live in the Middle East? Where would you pick?
You seem to love Lebanon. I mean, Beirut's nice when the bombing's not happening and the assassinations have stopped. Or you could live in Syria. I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Does that count?
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda.
Does that count as the Middle East? I don't know if that counts as the Middle East. I call that Asia. Am I wrong? Is that typically considered the Middle East? Because if so, then definitely.
Syria, I hear that's wonderful in the summer.
Well, we now have Al-Qaeda terrorists leading Syria.
Or the Houthis, I'm sure would make room for you.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv.
Well, then Dubai is the obvious winner.
Or the West Bank, Ramallah, I think is wonderful for a little. In the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in? Where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
Right. A lot of the Middle East is part of Asia, but not all of the not all of Asia is the Middle East. It's like all toads are frogs, but not all frogs are toads.
Where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
Where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
you're not
the United States.
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that
dress? Did we not
destabilize? Wait, I got to back this up. What the fuck just happened?
Like a little, it's in the fall, it gets lovely. Where would you live? What city would you live in? Where do you think you'd be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
you're not really.
So, okay. And he's saying
you're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
I didn't necessarily interpret what she said as, well, America bad, therefore all those places are bad places to live. That's what he's implying. I didn't get that. What do you guys think? Is she, and we'll listen to a little more, but is Bill hopping on something that ain't there?
by
you're not
the United
really
States.
you're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen,
Are you? You're blaming Islam on Whitey?
Obviously.
I'm not blaming Islam on Whitey.
But what you're saying is we destabilized. That's why you can't wear that
did we
dress?
not? Did we not
destabilize?
destabilize?
Wait a second.
We were funding terrorist organizations in Syria during the Syrian civil war, starting under the Obama administration.
That's why
did that not destabilize Syria?
No, what's destabilized?
There's a literal Al-Qaeda terrorist.
We're talking about your dress. Why?
I mean, even right now, the fact that that Tel Aviv might be a nice city, like they are in an active war. So maybe in general, but I don't know if you want to be right in the middle of the bullshit.
Stabilized.
There's a literal Al-Qaeda terrorist.
We're talking about your dress.
Why? It looks good. I know it looks good.
You're saying you can't wear that dress in Syria because of Whitey destabilizing?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's what it's
words in my mouth.
Okay, great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
And so she is right. America did destabilize a lot of these countries, but I don't think she was saying. I think she was more talking about the fact that they are destabilized regardless of who did it. That's how I heard it.
Great.
But the United States did destabilize various Middle Eastern countries. Are you going to deny that?
I asked about the dress, and you went right to destabilize. So is that why you couldn't wear that dress? Why couldn't you wear that dress? Why couldn't you?
You want me to talk about jihadism and Islam, but like,
why won't you?
Listen,
why won't you?
I mean,
why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious
Wait, you don't believe in it as in you don't follow jihad, or you don't believe in it that jihadism is not a real thing?
Haram.
I'm going to be charitable. And say that when she says I don't believe in jihadism, that she means she doesn't follow jihadism.
Why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al-Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay,
why are you being racist? You're saying they're all bad? No, Bill. Shut the fuck up and listen for a second.
Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremence religion at all.
Why can't you just say?
That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about
it's very much what it's about.
Ordinary, innocent human beings that I don't want to be slaughtered, regardless of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting.
Right. So, okay, but then you, Bill, can't take the position that, well, I'm good because I am justifying the death of a lot of these people. I don't understand how you can be okay. If we want the killing to go down, who's doing more of the killing? Yes, October 7th was a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. With the backing of America, we could have gotten SEAL Team 6 in there and taken out Hamas in 90 minutes. But didn't nobody want to do that? Ain't no money in that. Ain't no global posturing in that.
That I don't want to be slaughtered, regardless of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting wars.
It's that simple.
Stop attacking Israel. It'll stop.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't answer that question.
Okay. And again, Bill's like, of course, I know that if they were going to stop, then the world would be peaceful and amazing. Yeah, right? Shout out to Millionaire. Shout out. You know. If you know, you know. I don't necessarily think that all Muslims are bad. I'm an American. I look at people as individuals. But if you're going to tie yourself to a faith that says it's totally cool to just lie about all of the horrific shit we do, then you're not on my team. You're not on my team.
Israel, it'll stop.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't answer that question, and you know that
I don't know what the question is. What's the question?
You keep doing
What's my question? What's your
because
question?
You don't really
7 states in 5 years.
want to hear it.
No, go ahead. I will give you space to speak. Go ahead.
Then you will let me.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, if you could live anywhere,
right,
from North Africa all the way to we left out Uzbekistan, you could live there.
We're still trying to get her to say Israel here.
Kazakhstan.
We get it, Bill.
Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Oh,
none of the above.
And
none of them.
Or Tel Aviv.
None of them. Literally none of them.
But if you had to choose one, you would. So I would not. Karachi, Pakistan, and Tel Aviv, same thing.
I would figure something out, but
that's
I
powerful.
Definitely
Not as smart as I know you are. That's. Come on. You're going to
first of
get
all,
killed. You're
what
going to
I-
get killed for that for good reason.
No, I don't.
Yes, you are, and for good reason.
Okay, Bill, I'm Armenian. I have literal family members who currently live in Iran. I have no love for the Iranian regime. Let me be clear about that.
I left out Tehran. Would you like to live there?
Hold on. But let me just say something.
Tel Aviv,
There
Tehran.
is so much disinformation.
He's, again, the first order thinking. Well, we're talking about Israel, okay? So if you bring up another country, then you must be trying to dodge something. Or maybe, we're testing the principle. Yeah, right. And Larissa, I don't even know if she'd be safe in Israel.
Hold on. But let me just say something.
Tel Aviv,
there is so much disinformation. Armenian Christians who are part of the Armenian diaspora as a result of the 1915 genocide against Armenians.
I know it.
They're living in Iran right now. They're going to church. They're being left alone by the Ayatollah, as awful as the Ayatollah is. So look, I'm not saying I would want to live in Iran. I don't want to live anywhere in the Middle East. I want to live here in the United States of America, the greatest freaking country in the world.
You're like a politician.
No,
I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is, if you had to pick a city, and you're not answering that question, you're doing.
She is kind of a little warming around it. Just pick somewhere. Or you know what? If I was there, then I'd be like, obviously you want me to say Tel Aviv. Obviously you want me to say Tel Aviv. And then make him be like, okay, you're trying to get to something. What are we getting at?
You're doing what politicians are doing and saying, I don't want to live in any of them. I want to live in America. That's not the question. The question is, if you had to pick, would you rather live in Tel Aviv? Because I promise you, you wouldn't last a week in the other places, and you could easily live in Tel Aviv. So if you don't think that speaks of a difference between cultures and civilizations, then okay, we'll leave it there. But I promise you it does. And if you had to actually do that, I think you would agree with me.
I think given my very harsh and vociferous criticisms of the Israeli government, I probably wouldn't feel so safe living in Tel Aviv right now under this government. Under this government.
There you go.
First of all, they have free speech there. So
she gets to pick, but then when she picks, or maybe she it doesn't specifically, but she's saying again, calling him out that clearly you're trying to get me to say Tel Aviv. And again, I don't know if I feel safe. We're like, hold on, Anna, you absolutely would feel safe. Okay. Because I know everything. And the only way to be a real person, a Western liberal, anywhere in the Middle East, is to suck off Israel. Nah. Shout out to Box with the big 5. Thank you. So very, very much. Of course, a treat. Right here. There you go. He's going blind. Morty, it's right there. There you go. Thank you so very, very much. Said, make no mistake. There is more than enough land for everyone to live there. The religion keeps them fighting. Yup. Dogma will fucking do that to you. Thank you so very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream.
Well, that's under this government.
First of all, they have free speech there, so it would not be an issue. But that is a side issue. We're not really talking about. We'll just say just a person, not you with your vociferous talking. Just a regular, a woman of your age.
I'm sure a woman of my age who grew up in the Western world would probably feel the most comfortable in Tel Aviv. I will concede that.
Wow.
Okay, but
yeah, and then.
We're having a discussion about which culture we like, when in reality, I'm having a discussion about the value of human life and wanting innocent people to live, whether they're Israelis or whether they're Muslim.
Wait a minute. You don't want to go to a place that's horrible but has free speech? Does it though?
Innocent people to live, whether they're Israelis or whether they're Muslims in some other Muslim country.
You know what? When I'm bored, I know the audience is bored. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it there because we've been around that.
Apparently, no, and then.
Mulberry bush before.
Right.
So I don't want to go around it again.
Okay. You want to talk about husbands again?
Anything else.
Listen, and I am able to sit with people I disagree with.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. We disagree on this issue. I don't think that this issue alone is the makeup of who you are as a person. So
so you don't think that we should be canceling our family members based on this disagreement? That's what most of the left thinks.
I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I think that we need to be able to have these kinds of discussions, as fiery as they are, because this is how we come to a solution or a conclusion. You need the tension. I think the tension is a good thing. At some point, this country lost the ability to sit with that tension. Because that's where we grow. That's where we learn, right? And so, you've brought up some thought-provoking things. I hope I've brought up some thought-provoking points. I doubt that was the case, but...
I will say this show, whatever the fuck this is, this happens...
A dumpster fire?
First of all, it's ironic because I started this because, I have a show about politics. I don't, I have a job. This is like, let's do something completely different where we don't have to talk about politics. And
but politics is everything.
Well, especially with someone who's political,
right?
But even people who are sometimes
it doesn't need to be
again,
everything.
I said if I'm going to do a podcast, it's going to be completely different than real time.
And it is almost exactly the same, just more weed and less content. Shout out to Daniel again with the right. That was you last time, right? Yeah, I said fuck you, Box. I am the sponsor now. Thank you. So very, very much. There we go. Very, very, very much appreciated. It's a side note. Call Mary. Okay, so yeah. Let's see. So you're taking out Candace. You're marrying Pearly Things, and you're gonna. I agree on fuck Anna. I don't know. You know what? I think I would. I don't know. That's a tough one. What do you guys think? I could just there's no way. I'm definitely killing in the game Pearl. That's no question. I think I'd say fuck Candace because she's out there. So, you know what I mean? And marry Anna. That's good enough for me. Thank you so very, very much for the $5, making you the new sponsor of the stream, but not for long. Oh, there he is. Funk Master General with the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. So I can't reach anymore, Mark. God damn it. There we go. Thank you. So, very, very much. And if you guys didn't see, we did hit 5K. We are now a 5K subscriber channel, and that is all thanks to you guys. Thank you so very, 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 very much. Welcome to the party. And guys, if you are new here, please do not only hit that like button, but hit that subscribe. It really took a long time to get to 5K, and I'd love to keep it rolling. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So don't even just hit that subscribe button alone, because YouTube sucks with those notifications. So ring that bell as well, so you never miss an Indian Jesus party again. Thank you so very, very much, gentlemen. Let's dive right back in here.
Again, I said, if I'm going to do a podcast, it's going to be completely different than real time. Real time, a lot of preparation, zero. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I'm high, and I'm having fun, and I'm enjoying. So, it does get like this. It got like this with Laura. Not to this degree with Laura, but, it would always go back and forth. This one is the biggest challenge of, to get back into a good mood.
I've
never... you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm having the first time ever I'm having a little trouble.
No, Bill.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, poor baby.
It's just very frustrating.
Let's talk about the transes again.
The what?
That's what the conservatives say, the transes. The left turned on me. The first thing that the left turned on me over was...
Based? Based?
The left turned on me. The first thing that the left turned on me over was... I just kind of got sick of the lingo that was kind of...
Thank you again to Funk Master General, Daniel, and Box. That is 3 donos out of 15. $40 out of 50. And guys, like I told you, now that we hit 5K, the goal is going up. So this is the last night to hit the goal at $50. Thank you so very, very much.
I just kind of got sick of the lingo that was kind of being pushed on us, and the way that...
Lingo.
Yeah. I don't have kids. I don't want to have kids. And I don't want to be called a birthing person. I find it super insulting. You know what I'm saying?
You never will be.
And that doesn't mean I hate trans people or I want to take rights away from trans. It just means this is my preference. So AOC...
We'll go back to that, but oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That 5K. Thank you. So very, very much. Morty, please. This is not a comfortable position. There we go. Oh, my goodness. And of course, guys, that means we have met the goal. We have met the goal. So now it is time for Morty to get his extra special treat. This is we got the peanut butter flavor. He got the real thing last night, but I can feel it being empty already. But now that we have hit the goal, guys, every single donation, 99 cents, every single donation comes with a refill for Morty. Thank you so very, very much. I don't have the words, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's away from trans. It just means this is my preference. So AOC used birthing people or birthing person.
Of course.
And it was in the context of women's reproductive rights being stripped away from them by the Supreme Court. So I'm already pretty furious about what had just happened in the Supreme Court and the reversal of rights that we've had for decades. And then on top of that, you have AOC referred to women as birthing people because she wants to be inclusive. And yeah, I had a little bit of a moment where I was just like, please don't call me on X, Twitter at the time. Please don't call me a birthing person. I'm a woman. I want to be called a woman.
So you fought with AOC on X? I mean, on Twitter.
I didn't even mention AOC. I was just making a point to the public. Like, this is where I stand on this specific issue, right? The terminology that's being used to refer to women. One of my friends who works for a different media organization put out like 5 different videos condemning me about it. And I'm just like, this is worth destroying your friendship over? Really? This is insane. And you know me well. We are friends. And you know that I'm not transphobic at all. I just think the feelings and the concerns and the worries of biological women matter too. And I guess it doesn't matter for at least some component of the left. I wouldn't say the entirety of the left, not even close.
And I would agree with her there because I think the problem with this woke ideology in general is the fact that, we are, it's so black and white. And so wait, what did you just say? About women. And I don't think that the pro-trans people are against women. I just think that they don't think enough about any of this stuff to realize, hey, wait a minute, this is bad for women.
Stupid.
Worries of biological women matter too. And I guess it doesn't matter for at least some component of the left. I wouldn't say the entirety of the left, not even close.
But, I mean, the phrase I've always used, one of my big complaints about the left has been the one true opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There is the one true opinion.
Yeah.
And when you deviate from that, it's so ironic. The people who absolutely hate bullies so much are the biggest fucking bullies in the world.
100%.
And they just want to bully you back into the corral.
Yeah, and you can't do that with me.
And you definitely can't do it with me.
Right.
But, I mean, they'll love some of what you said there because, the useful idiots, this is the thing that they love. And the people who are marching for the terrorists and stuff. But,
Bill, you want to go back there?
Was that a dig at Hassan? Was that a Hassan dig? The guy who is bringing terrorists on his stream, and then his favorite flag was the Hezbollah flag. Like, bro, what are you doing?
For the terrorists and stuff. But
Bill, you want to go back there?
No, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back. I don't want to live there. I want to live. I can live in Tel Aviv or anywhere else. They're all the same. What does it matter? I just want to live. I do love America. Do you love America?
I fucking love America.
I do too.
God,
dilly to that. Dilly to America. Gotta love America. Right? Where else would you rather be?
You love America?
I fucking love America.
I do too.
God, I love America so much, and it makes me so angry that it's not that our people aren't being tended to. You know what I mean?
Tended to. So this. Anna. We might be getting into some territory where I'm like, okay, now you're both are so horribly wrong that I can't pick one of you that's worse. Let's see.
And I'm not saying that in the context of like, we want government to take care of all of us at all. No, I'm just talking about, I just feel like our country is being looted right now. And it makes me so furious. I feel like
I can definitely agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Whether you want to talk about other countries looting us as a country or the government looting the citizens I see it. I ain't mad at that. United Slaves of Israel. Oof. Yikes.
Oh, and it makes me so furious. I feel like
I was reading this really great article about, and I kind of got this, but he put the meat on the bones for it to me. It started out just talking about how the idea of the poverty line.
Yeah.
It was based. I didn't realize this. Like in the 50s or something, based on like 3 times what a family paid for food.
Mm-hmm.
So because you paid back then, about 33% went to food, but we're in a very different place now because we only really pay about 5%. Food is cheap, but rent's mortgage, child care, like this.
Yeah.
Food is not cheap. It's cheap if you are fucking rich. And it may not be as bad as it was under Biden, but food is fucking expensive. I remember when I was a wee lad. I'm from Jersey, so we got our amazing bagels and pizza. And so once you were old enough to drive to school, or you had a friend that would drive you to school, it was just commonplace to stop at a bagel shop and get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich for breakfast. I don't remember where I was going with this. What did you just say? Oh,
but rent.
And that used to be like $3.95 for a sandwich on a bagel, 2 or 3 eggs with a bunch of bacon and a cup of coffee. Now it's like $7 just for the sandwich. So don't tell me that food is not expensive.
You really pay about 5%. Food is cheap, but rent's mortgage, child care, like this, like all these.
Rent being worse doesn't mean that food is cheap.
Other things, and he just broke it down. And of course, this is for families, people with kids, and who need child care. The two families that both people have to work, and but like really, like I think it was $140,000, just gets you to like.
That's insane.
Living
like getting by, basically.
A little better, but maybe not even like, big vacation or just like.
Not in LA.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
It definitely depends on where you live.
Right.
But like the numbers that, we used to think $150,000. I read that stat recently that like a lot of people make. I was like, wow, America's pretty rich. Not really.
Right.
Not really, because 150.
Because there's this thing called inflation, and like this is where I kind of align with the notion of it makes sense to me why the younger kids, Gen Z and specifically Gen Alpha, as they're getting old enough to kind of start to see what's going on in the world, where there's no drive, because it's not the world that we used to live in, where if you work hard, you'll get this, whatever. You work hard, you're going to get a good job, you're going to graduate college, you're going to all that stuff. That's so far from guaranteed. And yes, housing is a huge aspect of it. Shout out to Box. Always, definitely Money Printer Go Burr. Always talking about them, that housing. I agree. But if we don't fix the more cultural, or not cultural, but if we don't fix the more fundamental issues, then the desire to even try to save up to do a thing like buy a house, buy a car, go to college for a good reason, all of these things are not going to be what people are thinking about. You can kind of compare it to the notion of, well, if you live in the hood, then, everybody makes fun of you if you are trying to be smart, or if you're trying to make something of yourself, and it's like a crabs in a bucket mentality. That's what's happening to the entire generation. So, call me a boomer. Call me a boomer. But jobs and housing, definitely a big deal. That does not mean that food is fucking cheap, Bill. Okay?
People make wow, America's pretty rich. Not really.
Right.
Not really, because $150,000 with that kind of a nut is not rich at all.
It's true.
It's okay.
No,
You're not.
It's okay.
And actually, if you make really low money, you get a lot of government benefits. But then when you make this kind of money, you lose them all. So you wind up like as close to the bone almost.
I mean,
God.
You don't even have to get to 100.
If this goes where, oh my God, if this goes where I think it's going to go, I have the perfect fucking clip. Put a 1 in the chat if you do not know who the Twitch streamer Pokimane is. If you do not know who Pokimane is, put a 1 in the chat.
150,000. I mean, the poverty line is considered so utterly low that people who are very obviously living in poverty, like they're not making enough income and should qualify for various, programs to kind of get them on their feet.
If I bought 90 eggs and ate as much as I could, there is no possible way I could get through all those eggs. That's the tough part about being a small guy that lives on my own. I can't buy a lot of fresh food because it goes bad. Even a regular carton of fucking eggs. Sometimes it's just like, all right, I mean, I'm eating these just because I have them now. Insane. All right, so let's see if this goes where we think it'll go. We got a side quest. So a shout out to Sense Partech. Welcome. Said, thank you for saying cheap relative to how much income percentage food costs were in the 50s. Okay, fair. If that's what he's saying, then I mean, that's obviously true. But it's just like, yeah, food's just, it's no problem. Like, that was one of the biggest problems. And yes, things have gotten better. Thank you, Trump. But not cheap.
For various, programs to kind of get them on their feet. They don't qualify for them, right?
But
so
I explain to me the American economy, because I never can quite get it. Why they take so much of my money.
Right. Yes.
It's not like
yes. Talk about those
because you vote for this. You vote for it. What do you mean? Why do they take it so much? Because you vote for them to fucking take it.
Fucking taxes.
Whenever I hear like rich people don't pay tax, what? I can't remember the last year when I
knew
didn't
it was
give
going here.
more than half. And I'm not even bitching about it if it went.
Listen, there is now
more than half. That's a lot. More than half?
There should be a moratorium.
And they're talking about, well, it's like the real rich people get away with murder, but we're like we're so poor that they take all of my money. Meanwhile, they're both millionaires. And it reminds me of this clip from a Pokimane stream. So Pokimane is a female gaming streamer who is one of these people that's very closely aligned with Hassan Piker. Making lots of money. She's part of the Hollywood of Twitch. Then I forget exactly who this other guy is, but
do you think someday we'll have a revolution like that in America? Right? It's getting there, right?
We already have one.
Another one.
What's going on?
The wealth disparity is getting bad.
The wage gap, I hate that shit.
No, wealth disparity.
Wealth disparity.
Wage gap is like between men and women. Men and women, we love each other.
Thanks.
And we hate the rich. Anyway. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No. Like the ultra rich. The ultra giga rich.
She's worth like $20 million. She's worth $20 million.
Thanks.
And we hate the rich. Anyway. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No. Like the ultra rich. The ultra giga rich. The unnecessarily
you have to clarify. Rich. They're going to clip that and it's going to make you look bad.
Yep. Box said rich equals just a bit more money than you currently make. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. All right, let me get 20 million then. Drop it in the Cash App, bruh. Oh, it's a lot now, isn't it? It's a lot now, isn't it? It's definitely enough to say that you are the rich.
Half. That's a lot.
This is exactly the same thing here. And well, what do you expect? I said they're Hassan orbiters, but exactly. But Pokimane has. Oh man, that's some simp ass fucking logic right there. Box said money is a tool. It's a moral. If you are a good person, money makes you more of a good person. If you are not a very good person, that gets amplified too. Indeed. I like that. Why? Because it's true.
Odd.
Or wait. No, yeah. I got it the other way around. It was obviously the egg. The egg came from a different animal that would not be technically considered a chicken, and then the what is in the egg would then be considered a chicken. So the egg came first, very obviously.
About it, if it went
Listen, there is now
more than half. That's a lot. More than half.
There should be a moratorium on the discussion,
and yet still poor people.
Whether we increase taxes or whatever. And look, I actually think that there are some examples of corporations in particular who get get taxed. Amazon should not be getting a tax refund.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
That's the thing, is that we're like in the rich people that aren't really that rich who get hit hard.
No, you're
and when you make hundreds of billions, then you pay nothing.
It's insane. It's insane.
Partly because you have an army of lawyers, and partly because it's in stocks and things, and the tax code is, Reagan tried to make it simple. It's not simple, and they game the system.
That's true.
All right, what do you guys think? If you had to put a percentage, what percent of Americans, definitely, what percent of Americans do you think are worth $20 million? Because Lynn is saying that's not rich. So I'm just curious. I agree with you, Jeeper. But I mean, a $20 million annuity would make over $120K yearly. Yeah, I mean, and again, we're not talking about making that money. We're just talking about having that money. So we're not saying she's like making $20 million a year is definitely rich. But Cheaper said 10, 1%, 6, 6.5, 10%. You think 10% of Americans are worth $20 million? Well, according to the chat GPT, as what percent of Americans are worth $20 million? It is hard to find a precise authoritative figure for the percentage of Americans who have a net worth of 20 million or more, but we can roughly estimate the order. So, according to the recent estimate, net worth, top 0.5% of households require a net worth around $20.15 million. The top 1% is 13 million. Because 20 million is roughly the cutoff of the top 0.5% of U.S. households. And that's households. That's not individuals. Insane. The net worth things are always a little off. But yeah, so 0.5% of Americans are worth $20 million. But yeah, that's not rich. That's not rich. That's some broke boy shit.
To make it simple, it's not simple, and they game the system.
That's true.
But just don't tell me we don't pay a lot of tax. How can you? And I've seen the stats. The government
Where's the money going?
Confiscate a lot
Where's
of money.
The money going?
Okay with it, but yes, where is it going? Why is there still homeless, and why is there still not railroads built in California? Why? And it's just like stupidity and fucking bureaucrats and just everybody with their beak at the trough.
Yep.
And just there's all this bullshit, and a lot of it does come from the left.
I mean, look, what's happening in California, I think, is a really good example of what graft, waste, all of that looks like. So, for instance, if you look at the state of California, people are paying their taxes. Okay, our state taxes are super high, municipal taxes, sales taxes, very high. It's very expensive to live in California.
Very. And state tax alone is 13, right?
It's insane because of what we get in return, which is squalor, homeless encampments, story after story involving audits showing that various nonprofits have just stolen the money, have decided to take the money, pad their pockets. I mean, the most NGOs, the overwhelming majority of money that comes into the organization goes to salaries. They might not be for profit, but they definitely make a profit.
Safetyism.
Yes.
Overregulation, red tape.
Yes. In California, there is overregulation, especially as it pertains to real estate construction.
Yeah.
We need to build more.
I completely agree. Lone from Cub said the fraud in the homeless scam from California is a feature of the system, not a bug. I don't even know how you could disagree. We have to accept that all of the people who can understand the homeless problem, that can communicate to other people who have power in California, either they don't know that just throwing money at homeless people is not a fix, or they know exactly what they're doing. There's too much money. There's too much money to be made. If we solve homelessness, what am I going to do for a living? Says the NGO leader.
Especially as it pertains to real estate, construction. We need to build more houses.
I said this to Gavin when last time he was on my show, and like, absolutely, yes, I'm going to look into the red tape thing. It's just that is the one that I think is so hard to ever. It's like they always say, I'm going to Washington, we're going to get rid of the waste and fraud. They never do.
No.
Everybody has their plan, Doge or whatever Al Gore had, and we're gonna get the lobbyists, we're gonna fucking get rid of that, and they never do. It's that smarmy, sleazy mud flow of consultant.
And how many times did you vote for him, Bill? How many times did you vote for new scum? Since Partsec said NGOs are basically a business model that thrive on perpetuating the problems they advertise to solve and deriding anyone who question as bad people. You don't care about the homeless? How wouldn't you care? Like, oh my God, that's so mean. Shut up. Oh, let me check. Echo or no echo on the shut up?
Shut up!
Echo or no echo?
Sleazy mud flow of consultants and like people who just make their living, not really making anything or doing anything or fixing anything.
So
like you, Bill? Like you?
Just everyone has their little piece, and it winds up, the people, we pay a lot of taxes, and it doesn't quite get to the people
No, it doesn't. That's the thing that drives me nuts. In California, it's not like we're nickel and diming people. We have funded various programs to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. $24 billion in homeless funding.
And now there's more homeless than there ever was. Throw more money at it, please.
I mean,
remember Octomom?
I do remember Octomom. Is she in the news again?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She got a lot of. I don't know what it would cost privately to birth 8 children.
You can pay me to do that. There's no amount.
Apparently we couldn't pay you to get one. Right?
True, yeah.
I totally understand that, but I'm a man, of course. Yeah. I get it, and I never wanted kids. The one thing that's been steady in my life is when I was a kid, I didn't like kids, and I still don't. Like, I
definitely wouldn't say that I like kids. I mean, I just, being 36 and, my sister's pregnant now, and that'll be the first, like, baby or child that's around in my life since I was a kid. And so I wouldn't say that like I'm good or bad with kids, but I've always wanted kids. And I definitely understand that like I'm a little awkward because I don't know how to interact with kids like that. But I've always wanted my own family. The notion of no, I don't want any of that. That's a little weird to me. Not that like you should, definitely. To each their own. But just strikes me as odd. There's a natural desire to procreate.
Life when I was a kid, I didn't like kids, and I still don't. Like, it never really
love
changed.
Kids. I don't want to be responsible for any of that. Well, that for sure I don't want. But like, I don't want to be responsible for any of them. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't know how parents avoid violence because when it comes to my family,
that's pretty funny. I got a secret for you, Anna. A lot of them don't.
It comes to people I love.
They don't always.
Exactly.
That's true. But like, I just think about, okay, I'll tell you.
Put a one in the chat if you've been beat by your parents.
Story, because this resonates with who I probably would be as a parent. When I was in 4th grade, I remember waiting for my mom to pick me up. I was at the corner of the school. And as she's turning the street to pick me up, a group of boys from my class passed by me and one of them slaps my ass and my mom sees it. I'm a 4th grader. So I'm like, what, 8, 9, right? My mom's crazy. So she like literally stops her car in the middle of the intersection, runs out with a rolling pin because she did have a rolling pin in the car. And she just starts chasing them because she wants to beat the shit out of them.
A rolling pin?
And that was the right thing to do.
What year is this?
This was...
Gonzo said, it's definitely different with your own kids, too. I was always civil to avoidant of most kids, but I can't get enough of mine. Well, I think it's, ironically, even though I'm a dog trainer, like, I don't really like dogs, like, as a thing. Like, yeah, I love dogs. Who doesn't like dogs? But I love Morty. I like, the fact that I get paid to do this with other dogs. But we are building the channel, so I could quit that. And it just, but of course, again, my dog is very different than a dog. And I can only imagine that is amplified with children.
Shit out of them.
A rolling pin.
And that was the right thing to do.
What year is this?
This was
A rolling
This
pin.
is in the 1990s, early 1990s.
Why in the car?
She would threaten us with it if we were acting up.
Really?
Yeah.
The old rolling
The
pin.
rolling pin. When I was that age, obviously I thought my mom was crazy and I was like very, very embarrassed by it. But
I mean, carrying around a rolling pin is a little out there.
now as an adult, I totally get it. Like
Did she catch the kid?
I think she like got one like swipe in, but nothing crazy.
But,
luckily, because she probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble. But
Anna, if you were telling me this story and it came
Yeah.
from the 1960s, I would say that's how we did it. Parents could absolutely hit another parent's kids.
It was great.
It was very much, it takes a village.
right.
I agree with that. And I think that I agree that it takes a village and that we lost this notion of adults in general being able to discipline kids. Now, that being said, I don't think that, again, I don't have kids and I was beat as a kid, so obviously I'm a little biased, but I don't think that for most situations, violence and corporal punishment are good. There are very clearly exceptions of like, oh, this kid, he needs to fucking learn. But I heard a line, I don't remember where it's from, but if your child is old enough to reason, then reason with them. If they're not old enough to reason, then they won't understand the reason that they're getting hit. And that made a lot of sense to me. And I think there are definitely situations where there are multiple avenues. And yeah, hitting a kid will get the desired effect. But there's also a little bit more effort in actually doing the reasoning and build that relationship with your child so that you don't need to hit them. We all know that, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Oh, that's way worse. Exactly. So I don't know. And yeah, I mean, we all live different lives. I was a good kid. I would get hit for like not getting my chores done on time and stuff like that. And so it's hard for me to be like, hey, maybe take away my PlayStation for a week before we try this. I don't know. I don't have kids, so, not telling anybody how to raise their kids. But, we had the reason that it was done that way is we didn't understand child development as well as we do now. That's one of the areas of psychology that absolutely has real science behind it. The brain development and all that stuff, that's real. We have a much better understanding now of what kids can manage and what they can't.
Kids.
It was great.
It was very much, it takes a village.
Right.
Yeah. But the 90s, I feel like...
No, the 90s were so different, Bill.
I feel
the
like
90s were
I feel like
so
that's,
great.
They would call the cops. Already we were into the call the cops phase.
There were no cell phones. There was no like, let me get my phone out and
I know,
like
but
record
hitting
this
another
woman.
kid with a rolling pin, I feel like...
Not in Reseda, California.
Wow, good for
Yeah.
you. Well, it certainly isn't that way now.
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? My mom would be in prison for the rest of her life, probably. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. And so the question stands, what would have happened if we had that conversation? Was a spoon necessary? I don't know. Shout out to Mother's Love. Welcome. So I have 9 kids from 17 up to 40. Do you hit them? And what do you think about that? Welcome.
Of course not. Are you kidding me? My mom would be in prison for the rest of her life, probably. Yeah.
Exactly. She'd be
Even in California.
for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, they used to, swat, you could swat a kid, like and your father could be looking at this and it'd be like, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that.
My mom
was getting.
Well, yeah, of course you would think this now. Of course you have to think that. Yeah, I was hit as a kid, but I'm fine. Of course you have to think that. To think that you could be an entirely different, happier person because you didn't get hit and you still got disciplined? Okay, discipline itself is not abuse, but you can be abusively disciplinarian. I'm saying, did when they needed it, nothing extreme. Fair enough, fair enough. And again, I mean, you know, different lives, different situations. But the more you understand about how a child's brain works, the easier it will be for you to manage that kid without just, you know, being bricked up. That shit, fuck. I'll speak for myself. That shit fucks with your desire to even have a relationship with these people.
Be looking at this and be like, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. You know, he was getting out of line.
My mom at like open houses, this is when I was in elementary school. I'll never forget it. She would literally tell the teacher, listen, if my kids are acting up, I give you permission to spank them. And I'm like, Mom, don't say that. Like, you're not supposed to say that. But she was very much of the mind.
Right. I want to tie a bow on that because I don't know if I finished that thought that discipline doesn't need to be violence, but discipline is extremely necessary. And so the point was, if we had moved on a trajectory where it was okay to discipline other people's kids because we weren't using violence as the discipline, I think we'd be in a better position where we still have adults. It's socially acceptable for them to discipline other people's kids.
And I'm like, Mom, don't say that. Like, you're not supposed to say that. But she was very much of the mindset, and this was an old school mindset that doesn't exist anymore. If the teacher says that you're
for you, I'm talking as the child. You love them all the same after you beat the shit out of them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking to that baby looking back at you and sees you as the utmost safety and control. Fucks with kids' heads.
Mindset that doesn't exist anymore. If the teacher says that you're misbehaving, you're in the wrong. Whereas now I feel like if the teacher says the kid is misbehaving, the parent fights the teacher, which I think is a mistake.
I've always said that. There used to be an ironclad wall. You couldn't break the chain. Your parent and your teacher, and now the parents take the side of the kid. That's where it all went. Oh, it's a total mistake.
Yeah.
But this is that gentle parenting. There's a difference. There's a difference between what I am talking about and not going overboard and gentle parenting. Well, you know, we don't listen and we don't say no. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about.
Side of the kid.
That's where it all went.
Oh, it's a total mistake.
Yeah.
But I mean, you seem like you're from such a traditional family. They must have been a lot of pressure to have a kid. I mean, it sounds like you're from, you know, what I call villagers, people who have like, what?
Don't say that to my dad, okay?
Well, people who...
Because in Armenian culture, calling someone a villager is like...
I don't mean it as an insult.
Anahit, the villagers, you know?
No, I don't mean it that way. I use it in terms of sometimes with women, like women who like, and I don't mean this as a bad way, but like there are women who like they mate for life, you know?
I mean, I'll mate for life, but not to...
All right, Rage Page. I'm totally fine if you want to drop some quotes, but let's not spam. Please. Thank you.
Have kids.
Right. But I mean, like, and that's what I call them villagers. Like most modern women, like, no, they'll fuck around a little before they, but some women are like, no, we only do it if we are like fucking super serious.
Super serial. Really? That's her name? Ana Hit? That's kind of funny.
They're like, no, we only do it if we are like fucking super serious. Wow. And that's great.
Yeah,
I mean, not for me, but I mean, in general, it's great. If that's your thing, but I call them villagers because it's like not that they're literally live in a village, but you know, it's just the village meant, and that's not an insult. Just you're villagers and I am not. I'm a city boy.
Yep.
You know.
I know what you mean.
Answer my questions. Okay, let's see what we got here. Proverbs 3:11-12. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive... Oh my God, this is... So, remember when we talked about how reading the Bible was the reason that I lost my faith? A rod and a reprimand impart wisdom more than, I don't know, wisdom? What are we talking about?
You're villagers and I am not. I'm a city boy.
Yep.
You know.
I know what you mean. Yeah, totally.
But you must get a lot of that kind of pressure, or maybe they've stopped. Maybe they gave up.
What happened with me was, I remember being in high school or college, and I went out to sushi with my mom and my aunt, and I got my mom warm to the idea that I'm not going to have kids very early on. So I just remember having
the way you put that.
Yeah, you got
warm to the idea.
You have to like ease them into the notion that your daughter is not going to give you grandchildren, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Because when you're sick and when you're battling cancer, your daughter is going to be by your bedside, as I've been throughout this past year. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I don't know. You just know. You're a man, but
Rage Page, I specifically addressed this already. I said discipline good. The rod means a physical rod. Bad. Discipline good. Violence bad.
And so I don't know. You just know. You're a man, but I know that you probably went through the same thought process I did. When you know, you know. I'm not really fit to be a parent. I don't want it. And to be a parent, you need to want it.
That's so true.
Right?
That's fair. That's fair. We see a lot of people who probably shouldn't be parents, and they just do it anyway. So while in general, of course, I think it is good for people to Vishnu. Not a feather. I think it's better for family and community to continue, but on an individual basis. Like, if you know you're not going to be a good mom, and do you actually know that? Maybe, maybe not. But you have an understanding of not entirely what's involved. But like, even though I don't have children, I have the understanding that okay, that I need to wake up in the middle of the night, and for the next 18 years, everything is about them and stuff like that. So I understand that people would be that way. I don't know. I forgot. What did Bill say?
I don't want it. And to be a parent, you need to want it.
That's so true.
Oh, yeah. The people who just don't want it. Maybe think about it a little bit first.
Right?
You have to be willing to basically trade your life for theirs.
Yes.
Not completely.
And I don't want to do that. No, it is completely. It is completely.
Well, you know what? It's completely because the parents...
It should be completely. Agree or disagree? If you have children, that should be your whole life. I'm making that a poll.
I don't want to do that. No, it is completely. It is completely.
Well, you know what? It's completely because the parents of the modern era fucked it up and made it completely.
Mm-hmm.
My parents did not. I don't know where I was yakking about this recently, but I saw this person on TV, a woman, it was TMZ, I can say it, and she was talking about, they got into some discussion about kids, and she said, I wish I could have 1 hour a week,
I can't live like that.
It's just like everything every day. I never have a minute to myself. I'm packing lunches and I'm doing this and I'm picking them up. And I just thought
that sounds like someone who probably shouldn't have had kids, because the way, like, I'll use you guys that are parents, the way that you guys talk about having to do things for your kid. Like, yes, it's in a way of like, okay, maybe I don't necessarily feel like doing this, but even though I don't feel like doing this, the fact that it means this much to my kid matters more than what I feel like doing in the moment. Does that make sense? Am I kind of on base, or where am I with that?
I never have a minute to myself. I'm packing lunches and I'm doing this and I'm picking them up. And I just thought, you guys did it to yourselves. My parents did not feel these kind of obligations to be around me all the time.
Yeah.
And we were both happier for it. You did it to yourselves. And you do have to trade your life for your child, yes, if you're a decent person and if you're going to bring a child into the world, but not to the degree the parents of today do it. And they didn't make it better for it. They ruined 2 lives. Congratulations. There's a fucking hat trick.
The parents shouldn't be too involved. I would love to understand what exactly he means by that, because what is like, again, there's a way of being too nice or too soft, but a level of involvement, I don't know. A little toilet, because a lot of people also listen to Bill Maher and Ana Kasparian, and not having any idea what they say is not good for when you encounter people like that who want to try to say that their reality is reality, and it is clearly not. Shout out to Mr. Johnson. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you guys. Let's dive right back in.
Agree with you on that.
They ruined 2 lives. Congratulations. There's a fucking hat trick for you and society.
Who does?
Agree. I mean, my most fond memories of growing up is when I'd be outside riding my bike and playing with my neighborhood friends for hours on end.
Right.
You know, at some point, you know, my mom would demand that I come home, but for the most part, you know, when I was out playing with my friends, she just kind of let me do my thing. Now, I will admit, like, we kind of, even though I grew up in Reseda, California, at the time, it was like a little bit of a suburban feel, you know, and it felt safe, even though it was the 90s when crime was supposed to be much higher. But
it is the suburbs, isn't it?
yeah, Reseda, California, sure.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, working class community. It wasn't like, when you think of suburbs, you think of like beautiful, like polished, you know, landscape and everything.
Not necessarily. I think there's quite a range. I think suburb is, the way that I use it, as more of a, I use it as kind of like an in-between. I keep forgetting about you, Verdes. See, I used to love being, you know, just here and here and here and here and here. But the Verdes, now I'm stuck behind the chat. And now I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I think suburb just means not you know, not city enough and not rural. But I think there's a lot of space in between those things.
And we didn't have that.
Well, you just had a lawn.
Yeah.
A lawn.
We had a front yard.
I mean,
Yeah.
I went back to my house recently, like 2 years ago, at that Thanksgiving, probably 2 years ago this week. And I wanted to see the house I grew up in. And the neighbors who were still living there when I was a kid.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive. Wow.
Next door neighbors. Oh, and their son is one of my best friends. Still, you know, from
That's
from
awesome.
8 years old. So I said, can you ask the neighbors if I could see the house I grew up in? And it was completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
They had just, because it was very small. But the neighbor's house, which was the same model.
Really?
When my parents bought the house, this is World War II generation people on the GI Bill after the war in the 1950s. You didn't even see the house. You saw a model. They built these neighborhoods. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
got 24B. It's looked like every other house.
Yes. That's a neighborhood I grew up in. Track homes built in the 1950s.
Right.
You know, each one was like a tiny bit different, right? Like, so each other house, like one looked the same as the next one, not the next one, but the one over, right? Like, so there was a little bit of variation, but not much. But the point is, why can't we do that now?
Do what?
Like we desperately need more housing.
Right.
So why the fuck are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Why can't
I wonder where Box gets it. This housing thing.
we do the same thing we did in the 1950s? We mass produced
You know what
housing.
Levittown was?
Because of BlackRock.
Yes, of course.
I mean, that was the first suburb that it was like, again, no variation in those houses.
Right.
Just like they just mass produced a suburb.
Right. Let's do that again.
Yeah, we could.
Why aren't we?
Because we can't even get the homeless. The homeless houses cost like
I don't think that's the same fucking thing. Because housing homeless people implies a heavy subsidization. Whereas if you're just buying a home, then you're buying the home. Like, yeah, we got the issues with the banks and this and that and that and the mortgage. But that's a more manageable situation.
Like $1 million a piece.
I know. I'm working on a piece right now, an investigative piece on Project Home Key. And it isn't, so Project Home Key is the policy in the state of California it's like the housing first policy, right? Like, we need to take every homeless person and put them in a hotel room that we have converted into an apartment, which fine. I respect that idea if it's done efficiently and properly, but that's not what's going on.
Hotels.
I don't even agree with that on its principle. Why should we be putting people up in hotels? I've never been put up in a hotel. Have you guys ever been put up in a hotel on the government's dime?
Who cares?
Maybe I'll just be homeless, and then I can get all the benefits.
Who came up with that? Because the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, that was used for. I mean,
I think the idea was we have a bunch of these motels and hotels that are like dilapidated. What if we buy them? And just like convert them to apartment units, which sounds like it makes a lot of sense, except in practice, it's actually been a bit of a disaster.
Well, they weren't
exactly.
They just put them in the hotels. I know how I acted on the road in hotels all my life. It's just a bad idea.
That's
hotels
a good point.
Do not.
That's a good point.
Not foster good behavior. They just don't.
Well, it also just inherently, like the policy inherently minimizes the complexity of the issue in California, and I'm sure other states as well. I'm sorry, but if you take someone who is addicted to fentanyl off the street and you just park them in an apartment unit and pretend, as Karen Bass has pretended, we're going to offer them wraparound services, but they really don't, they're going to overdose in the apartment. And that's what's been happening. I'm sorry, but the homelessness issue isn't as simple as, okay, we'll give them a home. No, homeless people, they fall into different categories. There are the homeless people who are not on the streets, right? We need to make a distinction between street homelessness and the people who are couch surfing or staying with family. The single mother with children who left her abusive husband, but she's staying with friends. It makes sense to help her out by putting her in one of these units.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
you don't think so?
I mean, again, on principle, no. But if we are going to entertain this idea of some people will use the help justifiably, I am totally open to the idea that it is not impossible that there are ways to talk about giving money to homeless people because they are homeless and that helping them. I don't think that is something that would be impossible. Again, on its principle, I don't think we should do it, but I would rather kind of warble on that principle a little bit if it genuinely, really, actually did help the homeless problem. But it won't. What did she say again?
Single mother with children who left her
Oh,
abusive.
yeah. So certain people, okay, well, this person has checked all of these boxes. They've been homeless only for 6 months. They're looking at jobs. That, whatever. Then this person may be more of a practical case to give money. I can get behind that in principle, or rather in not in principle, but I can get behind that on the numbers. But on principle, why? Shout out to Ninja Muffin. Welcome. Said UGM helps with food, housing, jobs, transportation, etc. But you gotta get off the drugs. And I think that's a good thing, that we shouldn't just be giving drug addicts free shit like that. But as Anna's talking about, a lot of these people are not the people who, just had a bad time, hit with they got laid off, and, it's a temporary situation. That's not most of what homelessness seems to be. I mean, I don't have numbers, but it doesn't seem like that's it. Like, exactly. Homeless people are typically addicts. It's a drug problem, not inherently a homeless problem. Buck said, I want to help people that need helping. The rest can go to court and figure it out. There's a difference between drug zombies and people down on their luck. And again, I agree with that. But then that raises the question, okay, how do we determine which is which? I mean, starting with a drug test is a good idea in terms of helping the right people. But because they're all addicts, then it's not helping the actual problem. What do we do?
Couch surfing or staying with family. The single mother with children who left her abusive husband, but she's staying with friends. It makes sense to help her out by putting her in one of these units.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think so?
No, I could.
Yeah, before we get back to that, Deborah, welcome, said, I agree with you. I think it would be okay to give homeless people some help. So I don't actually believe that. I don't think it is a good idea to make it about homelessness. I think we can have some type of welfare program, but I don't think that the homelessness thing is that's not strong enough of an indicator on how you would use that money. I think that's where I'm coming from. I don't have a problem helping, for there being a safety net. It just needs to work. And again, yeah, drug test for benefits. Okay, that helps us help the right people, but that doesn't address the homeless problem because, like you said, they're addicts. So then, yeah, we're helping some people, but what then do you do with the other? Are we arresting these people? Then we're still paying for them. We do have homeless shelters, but a lot of them have strict rules that people don't want to follow. They have curfews. You can't use drugs. Same issue. Same issue. I like that. It's a safety net, not a hammock. Dilly to that. Angry said, you give most of them a home and they will turn it into a crack house. Seen it over and over. Yep. Guano said, bring back the insane asylums and then help the real homeless. I think that sounds like a much better way to address what we're actually talking about. Yes, they are drug addicts. Yes, they are homeless. It is the issue is that too many people like that are not are on the streets. Even from the most selfish position. I don't want to look at that. Fair enough. You shouldn't have to look at that. Even without any type of compassion or anything. It still makes sense to not be throwing money at this and also want to solve the issue.
Out by putting her in one of these units.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think so?
No, I could tell you how to solve this, but there's probably laws or bureaucrats or whatever. Here's what you do. First of all,
right, Bill Maher's magical solution to homelessness. Put one in the chat if you think that he's going to say something good, or if you're just going to be like, listen, okay, this is my idea, and it's the most it's the greatest idea ever, okay? I think it's kind of going to be that, but maybe he's about to cook. Let's see.
There's probably laws or bureaucrats or whatever. Here's what you do. First of all, citizens own the streets. You can't be on the street. You can't control this sidewalk. I am a citizen. I pay taxes. The sidewalk is mine, not yours.
All right. So far, we're well, condescending wasn't it? No. Wait. So, tone aside, the actual solution, is this solution a good or at least better solution? That's a 1. If you think he's not going to have a better solution, he's just going to posture as if he has a better solution, that's a 2.
So this sidewalk. I am a citizen. I pay taxes. The sidewalk is mine, not yours. Sorry. No tents. We put you in a barracks. A nice barracks, but a barracks. I'm sorry, you are where you are in life. We are going to help you. We are not going to judge you, but that's where you are. You have to be in a barracks. Now,
okay, but when you say we're not going to judge you, does that mean we're going to let you be doing drugs on the property? What does that mean? That sounds like what we're already doing.
What do you mean by a barracks? Like, I just want to understand.
A barracks.
Okay, yeah, let's define that too.
It's a big room with a lot of beds. And
so
they
a shelter, you mean?
A shelter, a barracks, whatever.
Okay.
But they say, well, they don't want to go there because they don't, the crime. Okay, pennies on the dollar. Hire a fucking security guard for every row of beds and have them. So you're safe there. We guarantee you safe there. While you're there, we also have an adjacent barracks where there's counseling and there's drug addiction, people getting off drugs, and there's food. And it's like, do that. When we think you're ready to go back into society, then we'll have people who are trying to repatriate you back into society. Do that. But putting them in hotels or pretending that being on the street is just a lifestyle, which is where
I'm not buying that at all.
I mean, it kind of is now. Bucks and for asylums, in theory, not in practice. You don't have to look too far to see conservators that are scary taking over people's lives against their will. We have to get it right and keep checking in. Yeah, I think they're in the past when we had asylums, it was like, just kind of get them out of society. Especially now because we have much more understanding of medicine, neurology, and things like that, then these asylums would be essentially akin to a hospital, but not a hospital. It would be it should be at that level. And so if that were the case, that is something that facts. But if we were able to create these asylums through government subsidies, tax dollars, all that stuff, and it actually helped the problem of our cities being overrun with homeless people, then okay, even though I don't necessarily agree with the principle that people should be getting free shit, like, hey, it's working out for me, so I'm willing to pay for that. I always buy into it. But yeah, I mean, we gonna find a way to do what we do.
No, but but that's where they went with that. Again, another example of thinking you're helping and you're actually so
hurting
stupid.
People. Yeah.
You're hurting the marginalized people you're supposed to help.
Okay, let me just be clear about one thing. That obviously it struck a nerve with you and it struck a nerve with me as well. I don't
Uh-oh.
give a fuck about your lifestyle choices at all. I really don't.
Good. I thought it was going to be God.
You are not entitled to overtaking a public park.
No.
Because you want to live on the streets. And I know people, by the way, I was part of the group of people in this country who didn't think that even existed. Who the hell would want to live on the streets? That doesn't exist.
Right.
No, it does. It exists.
The people who care more about doing the drugs than where they live.
Unfortunately, it does.
Yeah, cuckoo.
And this is what you get from being a liberal elite and not actually knowing anybody. And then you think, oh, well, we just do this and we don't let them do that. Okay, bro.
Most of them are mentally, something mentally is off.
Right. I don't think that comes even close to representing like half the homeless population of California. It does not. Yeah.
A lot of people are like one paycheck away.
Right. I agree.
You go from, I'll have the rent next week, I promise, to, sorry, that's the third time you lied about it. Totally. And now you're in your car.
Yeah, totally.
And then after your car comes the sidewalk. And those people can be helped.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Get you someplace warm.
Yes.
Where there's soup. Okay. And security. It's not that hard to do. Whatever.
And so fine. Maybe that's not that hard to do. But does it actually solve the problem? Does it actually solve the problem? Can you lay out something that will say, okay, this is the incentive to do that will then bring them to the next step, to the next step, to the next step? Or is it just another thing? Is it just another option for homeless people and they can choose not to take it? And we spend millions, billions of dollars setting up the system, setting up these things. And then people are just like, no, I kind of just want to be on the streets doing drugs. Drugs are that good, guys. Don't do drugs.
Fucking stupid laws are in the way of it. If only a politician could come along and just cut that Gordian knot, because it's not that hard to do. And it doesn't cost $1 million per unit.
So one of the policies that California actually got right, and we've moved away from it, unfortunately, is drug courts. So the way drug courts worked in California was if you committed a crime, not just simply having possession of drugs or using drugs publicly, but if you committed a crime because of your drug addiction,
right,
the judge would give you an option. Okay, well, you robbed someone in their own home in order to feed your drug addiction. You have one of two options. You can either go to prison or rehabilitation. We could put you in rehab.
So we got to make another poll for this. The previous poll, when you have children, they are your everything. 89% of you said agree, as do I. So let's go to this. What is the exact question that I want to ask? Let me hear her say it one more time.
In order to feed your drug addiction, you have one of two options. You can either go to prison or rehabilitation. We could put you in rehab and you can get clean. You make your decision now. And a lot of people, understandably so, and this was the smart decision, would opt for rehab. Drug courts used to work. I mean, they worked in California. Why did we move away from them?
Okay, so here's the question. Should being on drugs affect your sentence if caught? If you do something, if you, like she said, if you rob somebody, should the fact that you're on drugs affect that? Because, well, and I'll keep what I have to myself for the time being, because I don't want to, I don't want to give you guys any ideas. But I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like, as a former drug addict who committed crimes because of my drug addiction, I don't know if this is a good idea.
So, and this was the smart decision, would opt for rehab. Drug courts used to work. I mean, they worked in California. Why did we move away from them? And we
had drug court?
Yeah, we had drug courts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did a lot of
just
research
about
into
drugs.
That. Just about drugs. Because listen, I don't agree with throwing people, just willy-nilly throwing people with addiction in prison. Like that's not the right solution.
No.
But when you give someone...
Right. But you said, that's not what you said, Anna. You said if you're committing a crime because of the drugs. We're not throwing you away because you're an addict. We're throwing you away because you robbed somebody. I agree that possession of most things should not end up in jail time. But that's not what you said.
Nearly throwing people with addiction in prison. Like that's not the right solution.
No.
But when you give someone who's in the throes of addiction the option, either you can go to prison or you can get clean, they're going to go for getting clean.
I think I could.
I don't necessarily think that's the case. not with everybody. There's certainly a plurality of people who'd be like, no, I'll just take the 2 years and I'll be able to find drugs in prison, and then I'll come out and go back to live my life.
Do a show called Drug Court.
I like it.
I like it a lot. I think I have the credibility. I have the drugs.
I love that you're
I have
smoking a joint while we're talking about drug court.
I have the drugs right here, and I know a lot about the subject. And I think I'd be a very fair justice meeting out. Because look, I've never been somebody who thinks that drugs are all good. I don't believe my hippie friends who want to tell me that this is health food. It's not.
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's not. But it's not. It's more benign than the other drug I'm doing, which is liquor.
By the way, I love pot.
Oh, really? Why didn't you say so?
I mean, I wanted to kind of get a feel for you before I decided to partake.
I think we've gotten both ends of it, babe.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I think we hit the gamut tonight.
We did.
And
definitely big money in the prison. So Box is trying to find the touch point, and we're not there yet. First, we need to decide if the drugs are should affect things or not. And then if and only if we decide yes, then we ask these questions. So first, just on the principle, should that affect things? Mother said some people need a taste of jail, then rehab. Not mad at that. Hey, shout out to B. Hey, welcome to the party. So Anna is figuring shit out. Anna was brainwashed, but she made it out because the left went after her for telling the truth about her attacker. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they don't buy it. She's still the same old thing. I disagree. I see change, and I see that change continuing. Welcome.
I think we hit the gamut tonight.
We did.
And thank God we did. Like, it is almost impossible to leave here not with good cheer. I just want, even that was the highest we ever went up. I feel like to almost into the Bezos area where you're actually technically in outer space, and came down. But we still did it. We did it. We fucking did it.
But I'm capable of it, and I knew you would be capable of it too, because you're an adult and you're able to. Like, let's joust a little bit. It's okay. We can joust and we can come back from it.
You think
I like to joust. Don't you like to joust?
You think it?
So here's what I'm gonna do. Since they were just talking about throwing money at problems, I skipped a part earlier on where the first thing they bring up, the first chapter after the introduction, is throw money at problems ? So we'll see if there's any kind of consistency in what we just heard them saying, and what they had said barely an hour before. So then you're saying yes. Box said I've done a bunch of fent, and it was all RX from a pharmacy. Same with liquid morphine. Enjoy in moderation. I do not. I disavow. Lomnick said my wife made a good point. Right now, we have a drug addiction problem due to people reveling against life. Soon, we'll probably have a dependency addiction from people who just can't cope in real life. Well, I feel like we're already there. That's kind of tied into what I was talking about, the younger generations not seeing any purpose in working hard, doing any of that kind of stuff. There's nothing for them to accomplish. Yeah, disavow. Funk said, I can relate to Anna's story. No one bends over in front of the Mexicans at my job. There you go. All right, so we're back up all the way over here at the beginning now, and we'll see. It's what exactly is it? Well, let me see what the exact title is. Throwing money at problems, Bill's philosophy. And the question is, does it line up with what the fuck they were just talking about?
Usually, yeah.
Not emotional stuff, but like a lot of other stuff.
Money does solve a lot of issues, that's for sure.
If I just threw money at this problem, made it go away, would that be okay if I just fix this? Because
if you front load the I'll pay for it, don't worry about it anymore.
Well,
we'll accept
but not just that. I mean, not just paying, but also, manly stuff. Like, of the thing you're talking about, I feel like the classic cliche is, bitching about the boss. And I feel like if I could say to a woman, listen, you bitch about this every night. I'm just going to hire someone to kill him.
Ooh, I like that.
What?
Exactly. I'm just going to fix this. And then I don't have to listen to you talk about it.
Yeah.
I got it. That's the analogy. The analogy being, I'm just going to fix this by throwing money at it. And that's not a good thing to do. Got it. Okay. Took me a second.
And I'm going to fix it. It can be done. I mean, I know good people, reliable people who are not going to get carried away, and just handle it.
Yeah.
But
what about you? Do you
Craig said, over on Rumble, said, weed is good. Agreed.
ever feel like you just want to like rage about something to someone? You don't want any solutions. You don't want any advice.
Yes, I call that my audience.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't want to rage. I feel like I'm the anti-rager, even though I am very critical, obviously, of both sides, and love my job and doing that. But
yeah, I mean, behave. It's definitely not for everyone, and anyone can be caught up. So, I mean, we're all, later stages than when we should be getting involved in drugs. But, like I did my thing when I was a kid, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, and I don't do that stuff anymore. But something came across the desk and, some can't kill you. Maybe it can, but just be careful.
But rage, I'm trying to get the rage down and the mental part down. And, I mean, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Is he going to offer her a drink? I didn't see her with a drink. I forget who it was, but the last time we covered this, I got very upset that he didn't offer the other person a drink.
Yeah.
My message last week on our last show this season and every Thanksgiving really for the last 5 years has been, I'm in the talk to them wing of the Democratic Party. I'm not in the cut your people off.
Right.
Don't cut them off. And,
don't cut your people. Don't cut your penis off.
I have friends who, are not on that side of it.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You still offer. And she can say, no, thank you. This is his home. He's mixing up a drink. It's not like he's just pouring something from a bottle. It's not like he walked in with a beer in his hand and was just like, sorry, last one. This is a studio set up with all that stuff on the table. And we're here for over an hour and a half. And we can't say, do you want one? Anything I can get for you? Little things like that show you who people are. I have no idea. Probably some, I don't know. Does she have a drink beside her? Either way, I still want to see the offer.
I have friends.
Right.
Drink. I see no drink. Okay, I see a drink here.
Don't cut them off. And, I have friends.
But I also haven't seen her have you guys been seeing that? Well, I'm sorry. I have fucking manners!
Who, are not on that side of it and didn't like what I said. And
have they cut you off?
Well, it's such an interesting issue. One relationship that's in the balance. I mean, it was.
And that's not a real friend. Like,
well, I mean, we weren't close. I mean, I'm talking like it was Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I said it.
It was definitely whoever it was the last time we covered Club Random. We don't cover Club Random that often, but it was somebody. It must have been somebody good. But yeah, didn't offer anything, and he didn't. That person wasn't drinking all throughout. I also would expect a little pass, but.
Well, I mean, we weren't close. I mean, I'm talking like it was Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, I said it publicly, and I like Jimmy a lot. And his wife wrote that thing that said, she did lose family members. She wrote them before the election and said, here's 10 reasons why you just can't vote for Trump. And then some of them, just didn't follow that. And I was as kid glove as I could. And I see they're mad at me. And I'm sorry. I mean, I was being, again, as respectful as I could, but I don't agree with that point of view. And since she went public with it, it wasn't out of school for me to go public with it. I love Jimmy. I always have. I don't know him that well, but he's a great guy. And we have a connection. Like, we were both fired by ABC and he took I had that time slot. So like, it's so interesting. The same ABC, I mean, Disney executive, Candace, both. It's interesting, the connections. And so I hope we're friends forever, but I don't know, the liberals and the woke, that's a schism. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the time of my life where I was the most miserable was probably
when I was the most liberal. Please let that be the end of this sentence. When I was most liberal, I was most miserable. And when I was most miserable, I was most liberal. Let's see. Shout out to Heather Starr. Welcome to the party. Merry Christmas to you and your family. But my dad and my dad and my grandparents passed away this Christmas. It will be hard for me. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. A big dilly to our fallen family members. Welcome to the party. Hopefully, we can add a little entertainment with all of that. Welcome.
That the time of my life where I was the most miserable was probably 2015 through
when she was most liberal.
2019.
When she was a never Trumper.
Before the pandemic.
It was before the pandemic. I mean,
Trump bad.
Wow.
The pandemic was
better for you. Things got better.
I mean, look, actually, I hate to admit it, but things did get better for me during the pandemic. I was like, oh, I get to work from home. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out.
And it didn't put pressure on the marriage because lots of people said that. People broke up because it's like, oh, I got to look at your ass all day. That I didn't bargain for that.
That wasn't at all an issue with us. It did kind of start to be. So my husband was a bartender when the pandemic hit.
Interesting. I find that interesting for her, someone at her status, to have a bartender for her husband. Pretty cool. Don't we all? I do love him, but he's been fucking up. I'm not gonna hold on forever, but right now we're still on the same team.
And so he obviously got laid off right away, which I was, understanding about. I think what started to kind of get in between us, although not to the point where it became a problem, was where I felt like I was working all the time, even though I was working from home. And
hey, shout out to Guam Tech with the $2. Thank you so very, very much. Gotta bring you Verdi's along with me to get Morty his treat. Come on, bro. I can't reach any further. What's the matter? You okay? Oh, uh-oh. It's not good when he doesn't eat the food. Ah, there he goes. He's just being lazy. He knows that the refill is coming. Look at him. He knows. Alrighty. There we go. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. The party rages on.
I felt like I was working all the time, even though I was working from home. And he was a bartender. So like he doesn't really have any other options other than making a career change.
Of course.
So finally got to a point where I was like, you need to make a career change. And I'm glad I did that, even though it was difficult for me to do, because like being the nagging wife is not my thing.
Right.
But he was understanding about it. And he then pursued what I think he was always meant to do, which is he's the head baseball coach at a school. And he was a professional baseball player prior to that. When his baseball career ended, that was when he came out to LA and started kind of like working at restaurants and stuff to figure out what do I want to do next. And then he got comfortable. I think that happens to a lot of people. So COVID.
That happened to me. I was well into my 20s and still just serving tables and just like working for beer money and making sure I got enough rent. And that's about it. A little bit of a different person. So no, this is full. I'll give you the brand, but the official Kong. This is the peanut butter flavor treat filler. So that is a what they call a Kong, and you fill it with the stuffs, and then he gets to do that.
Want to do next, and then he got comfortable. I think that happens to a lot of people. So COVID was like a bit of a crisis that we took as an opportunity to move forward in life in certain ways, if that makes any sense.
This sounds like the kind of thing. I never got married, but I've never been
I don't think it's spray peanut butter. It's peanut butter flavor. Peanut butter flavor made for dogs. Let's look at the that's French. Caution, contents under pressure, blah, 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 blah. Ingredients: cheese, water, soybean oil, whey, modified cornstarch, sodium phosphate, dextrose, maltodextrin, lactic acid, sorbic acid, caramel, and annatto for color. No trans fatty acids. So, I mean, you'd probably be good, but you might want to just stick with peanut butter. No, his poops are great. He's got nice, solid dookies. I know, because I got to pick them up. Adam said 20 years ago, 20 years ago this year, my dad tried to go down the chimney on Christmas. It wasn't until the next winter we found out what happened to him. Yikes. Oh, yeah, that shit ain't cheap. Like I said, this motherfucker eats 10 times better than I do. He gets top shelf shit. I fucking eat cans of soup from McDonald's, from Walmart with some pasta and a protein shake. That's my normal day.
This sounds like the kind of thing. I never got married, but I've never been a person. I think people have this misconception that I'm anti-marriage. I'm only anti-marriage for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get it because I see so many of my friends who are married, and of course, most marriages do fall apart in some way. But I also know plenty of people who've had great ones and would be really lost without their spouse.
The thing is, I don't know how much like sugar and stuff is in real peanut butter that like I'm just giving to him regularly. This is made for dogs.
And like some people, they're just their nature is to be in a partnership.
True.
You know, it's a seesaw thing. That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm a lone wolf. Always have been.
If you know yourself.
Cool, bro. That's so cool. Oh, I'm a lone wolf. I'm an alpha man. That's really what it sounds like.
And that's what you like, then go for it. I mean, it's all, like life is so short.
I'm very social, but ultimately I'm a lone wolf. But this sounds.
I got some good news for you. Cut his balls off years ago.
Sounds to me like what a marriage should be like. Not nagging, but when you need that person to, you're on this teeter-totter together to get things even and balanced. They're there to do that.
Totally.
And that's great. I mean,
totally.
If you're of that personality, I think most people.
Wow. 75% of you said that if you commit a crime, being on drugs should affect your sentence. Well, then why would somebody do a crime without doing drugs first? If you can rob somebody, if you can burglarize somebody's house, and that's, definitely sent to jail, but you got some weed in your system, and you're like, well, I'm an addict. Okay, maybe it doesn't work for weed, but you fucking snort a pill or something. Do some blow. You're like, well, I'm an addict. And they're like, oh, okay. Okay, all right. So, okay, then why? On the other side of it, why should it be worse? Why should it be worse? If I'm committing a crime, the focus should be on the crime that I committed. Why would being on drugs make it a harsher sentence?
Most people are always looking for, complete me, and some of that is cliche, but some of it is kind of true. I've seen people who were incomplete.
I didn't realize I was incomplete until I met him. And there are qualities of his that I think I've adapted for the better. So for instance, he's just such a kind-hearted person who sees the good in everyone. And so when I talk about the period of my life when I was the most miserable,
I was the most liberal. Okay, so anger status DUI is the reason you crashed the drug. Fair, but that's a specific thing about being impaired, not that you are drinking alcohol. And so this is the context of the alcohol, not that it's bad to drink alcohol, but the act of being intoxicated and doing a thing. So let's say, so let's say you're, let's stick with alcohol. Say you're drunk and you do a hit and run. Compared to someone of sober mind doing a hit and run. Why would that affect the sentence? True. I'm trying to see, because especially if we talk about pharmaceutical drugs where you can get a prescription and all that kind of stuff, then there's some heavy fucking drugs out there. And if I'm going to commit a crime and I know that this crime can get me sent to jail, but there's a way that I just do drugs and it makes it better, obviously we're not going to do that. But if it makes it worse, I'm not seeing the connective tissue on the crime is the crime. DUI is a specific one that has to do with that. Like drug possession, yes, that is the crime. But why should why should that make it worse?
And so when I talk about the period of my life when I was the most miserable, I wasn't able to see the good in everyone, right? And so I was very much in the mindset of who you vote for demonstrates what your values are. And if I have determined that the person you voted for is a bad actor or immoral, that means you're bad and you're immoral.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. You get charged with drugs and the crime more charges. So that's a separate charge then. We're talking about the charge of, Anna brought up the robbery. There's one thing in saying, okay, you've done the robbery and you're in possession of drugs. So you're going to get different charges for those things. What she's saying is if you've only done the robbery, the fact that you're on drugs should affect that sentence. And I don't see why. I'm not saying no. I'm asking for the reason. What is the connective reasoning? What is the causal factor?
And it is a terrible place to be where you think half the country
that
is awful.
Exactly what my theme was Friday. I was disappointed that, I said about the thing, again, trying to be respectful. She had said, I sent my relatives a letter with 10 reasons you should not vote for Trump. And I, first of all, said, 10, I could think of 100.
That's true.
But to me, a better exercise, and as someone who votes Democratic, a better exercise would be write a letter to yourself, 10 reasons why you might imagine those 77 million Americans could not vote. But I want to get back to this husband thing for a second, because I'm very interested in this. It's just endlessly fascinating to me, like how different people do it. And how they make it work.
When we do it real well, I'll tell you that.
I'm going to skip again a little bit. And what do we got? Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Success, ego, and the future of TV.
Television, and is there even going to be television in 3 years? I mean,
not in the way that we traditionally think of it, right?
Pluribus will still be around, but not terrestrial TV.
And I think that's a good thing. I think it's right?
Well, I did buy this house. I don't know if it's a good thing.
You made a smart move. I think you saw the writing on the wall, and it's better to have,
Look, we're both what they call content. Let the other people figure out where the content goes. It's not my job.
Hey, who fucking called it out? It was like, Bill hires somebody to have manners for him. He hires someone to do everything for him. Okay.
The content, where it goes, I'm the content. The other people will figure it out. There'll be a market for the content. That I know. So you can put it on streaming. You can put it in your pants. You could put it in the theater. You could, whatever you're going to do, you could do directly into their brain, AI.
Bill, do you honestly think that if there was a theater run of Club Random, that anyone would pay for that?
Come on, man.
Well, what are we doing?
Could just tell you what I'm thinking. I don't know what the fuck it is going to be, but I don't think AIs can do.
Again, Rage Page, you're going back to what I already said. I agree with this part. That's not what Anna was saying. She is saying because of the robbery, or because of the drugs, the robbery itself should have a lesser a sentence. And so if you're arguing that there should be an effect on the sentence, then you're opening the door for people like her to say, well, no, drugs should be a lesser sentence. I'm not saying you shouldn't get the charges for the drugs. I'm saying the charges you get for the drugs should be separate from the charges of the crime. Unless it's a specific thing that is DUI, that is driving under the influence, because that is the crime.
Do exactly what we do.
I don't either. I mean, I am worried about AI when it comes to large swaths of the American population, because their jobs will be replaced with AI.
It seems like we're sailing toward this iceberg.
Totally.
And everyone is sort of pretending that's not what's going to happen, even though there are people in the industry itself who are saying, no, this is, it can do 30 to 40% of the coding jobs right now. So like,
I mean, already so many coders are losing their jobs in Silicon Valley, which is like the most ironic thing in the world.
So ironic.
Right? Like the first to go are the workers who helped kind of foster this new technology.
And also
yeah, right. I mean, if you're building clankers, then they might take your job. But shout out to TDA Grimm. Welcome. Said Anna is amazing. She's getting better. For sure. Isn't that how it is right now, where you get a lesser sentence because you smoked some weed before you did a crime? I don't think so.
The workers who helped kind of foster this new technology.
And also the kind of pretenders of the left who are like, care about the people, the marginalized people, as we should. But then it was like, but that's, I can say that because like my jobs are safe. It's not going to come from my job. I'm like, I went to college. Okay, I have a degree. And,
Yep.
And they do the most simple, fucking basic ass job that will be so quickly replaced.
That's such a great point.
Oh, shit. It's my job, too.
Right. I mean, that's known as the professional managerial class, right? And
Correct.
so, yeah.
Yes.
And so they have, thought that they've been safe. But meanwhile, in the background, you have new technology being developed that's going to make their positions totally antiquated, irrelevant, unnecessary, which, middle management, I don't know. My heart doesn't necessarily break for them, but my heart does break for the country, right, overall, because I think if we don't find solutions to this.
Middle management is not.
Yeah, I don't think people are shedding tears for middle management. No offense to the middle managers I deal with.
Does not pull on the heartstrings.
Right, exactly.
Like Ukrainian.
It's like, no, I mean, if you're middle management, cool. No, middle management is the worst fucking thing.
An orphan or,
Right.
Middle, yeah, you're right.
Or, a truck driver. Like, I worry about the drivers. Like, they're going to be out of a job soon.
I actually don't agree. I used to think that truck driving was going to be the number one thing that was replaced by AI, and maybe it will be. I obviously don't have a crystal ball, but it does seem like the way that they talk about driverless vehicles was way more optimistic than it actually is. Like, I know we have the Waymo thing, and the Tesla self-driving, like, it's getting there. But in terms of replacing all human drivers, I don't think that's coming up very soon. I think there needs to be so much understanding of what goes in, like the minutia of what goes into these tasks. Because do you guys remember, maybe this didn't happen to you, but I'm pretty sure it's a very common thing, that when you were probably 3rd or 4th grade, and you had to do a presentation where you had to instruct the teacher on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so they had the bread, they had the thing of peanut butter, they had the jelly, they had the knife and whatever. And so kids would say things like, you put the peanut butter on the bread. And so the teacher would take like the peanut butter and put it on top of the package of bread. Point being that, like, okay, we understand that making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is relatively simple. But when you have to break it down to like a binary level and program that, it's not as simple. So I don't know. At site self-driving, I can definitely see that. We like I said, we already have that. But there you go. There you go. Shout out to you guys. I think this is kind of the same thing, where because driving there's so much that it's just going to take time for that to be effective enough for people who do shipping, imports, exports. I mean, I don't even know the infrastructure but like the people who are hiring and firing the drivers. I feel like there's so much more that can't just be replaced by the level of technology that we have now. Now, of course, it's an exponential growth, but I have changed my mind. I think truck drivers have a little bit more time than we thought.
Like, I worry about the drivers. Like, they're going to be out of a job soon. So what's the plan? And that's the thing that worries me, because I look at the political landscape, and I think you and I, the one area where I think we have a lot of agreement is where we are willing to be critical of the Democratic
Again, just hit me up.
Party. I'm obviously also critical of the Republican Party. Neither party seems competent for the moment that we're in.
No.
And that's terrifying.
I agree.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying.
Right. It reminds me of the, I'm sure you watch the World Series every inning.
Oh, definitely,
But there was one 18-inning game, which is very long.
That was the Dodgers.
damn.
Yes, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Right.
I hit the laugh button at her, and she knew more about it than I did. All right.
Game, which is very long.
That was the Dodgers and...
Yes, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Right.
And that's twice as long. It's 9 extra innings, a whole nother game. And it's like...
Johnson, no need to ever apologize for your comments. The point is to come here and say some shit, and maybe I'll pull it up and say, "Oh man, I completely agree with you," or maybe I'll hey, wait a minute, or maybe I'll say, "Nah, you're fucking wrong." But we just want to be able to talk. That's it. You are very welcome to say whatever you want within TOS, obviously.
Nobody scored in those extra innings.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wow, this is there for the taking for one of you teams to win this game, which was tipped the series to you, and nobody could do it. And I was like, that is exactly what the Republicans and the Democrats. I mean,
nobody could do it. What do you mean? Did that end in a tie?
Republicans, when they came into office,
you can't tie the World Series.
They had the wind at their back. All they had to do was not get drunk with power.
Yeah.
And fuck it up. And of course, that's exactly. And
I said me too. Oh wait, he's over on vertical. Let's go full screen. Full screen. Dilly motherfucking dilly.
Yeah.
And fuck it up. And of course, that's exactly. And I don't think his instincts about.
Hey, we got a new subscriber. 5,001. Let's go. Let's go. We are doing this thing, and Dick Johnson is right along with us.
Fixing this and this and this and this are wrong always. There is lots of shit that needs fixing, and some of these fixed great in my view, like did better in the Middle East than anybody had done, got NATO to pay for shit, colleges out of control, yes. But of course, almost everything, the way he does it is just a disaster.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the vertical. That is why I put the landscape link pinned to the top of the vertical chat. So if you're scrolling through and you find yourself on the vertical stream, always I will put the pinned link to the regular stream on the pinned. So just pop it over there and you'll get right over here. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Funk Master General again with another 5 gifted memberships, which comes with a treat for Morty, and of course, another refill. That's not what we're doing. Hey, oh, we're running out. Okay, I'll save it in case we get any a little extra. There we go. Thank you. So very, very much. Look at him. He's loving it. Thank you. So very, very much. And again, guys, remember, if you got one of these gifted memberships, hit the pinned link, because it will be only for the landscapers. So hit the pinned link on the landscape stream. You get into the Discord, and that is where we're holding the after party. So come on through. Thank you so very, very much, sir.
But of course, almost everything, the way he does it, is just a disaster. And
I agree with you on
it's
NATO.
Cruel,
Yeah.
And it's unnecessary. Doge, it's like just unnecessarily assholish to a problem that if you had just, handled it in a just a more humane, human, farsighted way, you'd have the people behind you, and now he's starting to lose them.
Oh, starting
because of the economy.
Yes.
And they, even with immigration, even though they agreed with him, they don't like
they don't like watching day laborers at Home Depot parking lots get snatched up by masked men, right? Like they don't like seeing, parents get snatched up by ICE agents as
I mean, kind of. Yeah, all right.
they're dropping their kids off to school. Like, I think Biden really did mess up when it comes to immigration, 100%. So I actually really sympathize with people who were furious over what happened with immigration under the Biden administration. At the same time,
I think it worked. We're at 5002 now. 5002. We are getting up there. Let's fucking go.
I don't think most Americans who think of themselves as hardliners on immigration realize just how integrated undocumented immigrants are in our society, right? And I'm talking about people.
Undocumented immigrants. You mean illegal aliens? Shout out to Box. I'm gonna save the spray for if we get any more. Thank you. Member for 12 fucking months, a whole goddamn year. Oh, what a year it has been. Rookie numbers indeed. Like I said, we are much closer to the beginning than we are to the end. Thank you so very, very much.
Right.
Undocumented immigrants are in our society, right? And I'm talking about people who have been here for literally decades, who do pay taxes, but don't get the benefits that come along with the, various public programs that they're funding through their taxes. And there needs to be a better solution than swinging from one extreme to another on this topic. And the thing that I am the most furious about, honestly.
Shout out to L'Oreal. Welcome. I am 36 years old. I'm getting old. My birthday was just last month. Welcome to the party. Craig over on Rumble said, I really, really love to see masked men pulling up to Home Depot and grabbing these criminals. That's what they is. These criminals. Is
Congress. Congress is the most useless branch of our government at the moment. I'm not saying it's unnecessary. I think it's an important part of our government.
See, DJ's a real one. That's a real one. I'm going to check and make sure. And, you can ring the bell while you're at it. Thank you so very, very much, sir.
But over the last few decades...
Hey, we got L'Oreal as well. Oh, we are building. Welcome to the party. I am 36 years old. I was going to say I'm old and decrepit, but most of you guys are Gen Xers, so I'm probably a young buck to you guys.
Necessary. I think it's an important part of our government. But over the last few decades, we both know Congress has ceded much of their power to the executive branch as it pertains to foreign policy. Big mistake.
That's been going on for 70 years.
Absolutely.
Congress is supposed to be the most important branch of government. That's what the Constitution says, for
They're
sure.
the ones who are supposed to write the bills and pass the bills.
Power of the purse, power of declaring war. The president is just a guy who's supposed to carry it out.
Right.
What's that? How does the Schoolhouse Rock song go? It's I can't remember. I don't remember. Yep. Yeah, I figured we got some older people here. I appreciate it. You guys got some more wisdom that I don't necessarily have. I do have my co-host who is an old man who gives me his elder wisdom, but I always love to have it from you guys.
The president is just the guy who is supposed to carry it out. He executes it. He's the top executive, but he's like, you hire a CEO to run your company.
Right. There you go. I'm just a Bill on Capitol Hill.
He's not the dude. He's carrying out what the guy who owns Starbucks is his vision.
Right.
Okay.
I made being an 80s baby by 31 days. I'm an 80s baby. Can't nobody take that from me.
That is, as you say, completely lost. And the only, I did a piece a few weeks ago about the Supreme Court being the last line of defense here. We're going to see what they're going to say about tariffs, like whatever you think about tariffs.
They have to strike it down.
It's a congressional thing.
Yes.
And so like these kind of basic things. And I'm not completely pessimistic about how the court is going to rule. The Supreme Court does have the ability to
They've ruled against him.
surprise you.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes they take a hip pill and get it right. Not always. And they have certainly gotten a lot more conservative.
So did I, but I not really the same kind of thing
Over the years. But I'm not going to with all Trump stuff, I said this time, I'm not going to do it like the first term.
Trump bad.
When it happens,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get upset. If it's the thing that is worth getting upset about and talking about and critiquing, and I never pull a punch on that. But, I don't give a shit about the ballroom. And
Me either.
if you do, it's just an indication that Trump is much too part of your personality. It doesn't matter.
TDS.
First of all, it doesn't cost you anything.
That's
even
the
if
number one.
Lost my virginity on the 4-year anniversary of 9/11. Not because of 9/11, it just happened.
Thing.
Even
And
if
that's
it-
the most important thing.
Even if it did,
I don't care.
around. It's like 2 seconds of the interest we pay every day.
But can we talk about like the feminine qualities of our president for a minute? Okay, like
Everything is so gay.
yes.
I mean the
No offense, but yes.
ballrooms.
All right, let's see. I don't remember what they actually say here. But Trump is definitely a character. He's not a normal guy. So let's see what's good here. Because my natural instinct is to disagree.
How dare you?
Trump being gay?
Oh, hell no.
But let's hear him out. Hey, there it is, brother. Thank you so very, very much. Well, I could have had my first one in 2000. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been my first one in 2006 if things didn't go the way that I wanted them to. But hey,
Okay, like
Everything is so gay.
yes.
I mean the
No offense, but yes.
ballrooms and gold,
no offense.
gold everything.
Oh,
and
the millwork on the walls and everything. He's so proud of it.
It's a very butch administration. and Hegseth with the
Since when is gold a feminine thing? Like jewelry? Okay, fine. If he's walking around with fucking earrings and shit, then that's one thing. But gold in and of itself is feminine?
What?
It's a little bit of a reach.
we want no gays. We just want well-shaved, strapping young men in perfect shape. I mean, the whole
Same.
the whole-
For the military, though. Like, do you not want young strapping men for the military? What are we talking about?
whole thing is
It's amazing. It really is.
It's very gay.
But, so you have this going on the federal level, which is bad enough. But as you and I both know as Californians, we get a double whammy of experiencing the incompetence of leadership in our state. And so
Whammy.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I find myself in this really interesting position of
Speaking of 2001, goddamn.
experiencing what corrupt Democratic leadership looks like and how disastrous it is. And then on a federal level, I'm not loving a lot of what's been happening recently with the Trump administration.
No.
And I understand Americans who have just completely written off politics. They don't vote. They don't engage. I think that's a mistake, but I understand where
It's definitely a mistake. Make sure that you subscribe to the Indian Jesus channel to make sure you keep up with all the politics.
that's coming from.
I feel the same.
I just don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's
No.
fixable.
It's not, as long as there's like smartphones, but
Mhm.
because that just
So then what is your job? Both of you, what is your job? If you don't think it can be fixed, then what exactly would you say you do here?
this is making us ever stupider. And yeah, I mean, people don't know anything anyway. So I mean, they've completely
Unlike Bill Maher.
lost the thread with education. But can I
Yeah.
tell you, you're talking about California.
Yep.
I mean, you're from here, right?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay. So here's a fire story.
Mhm.
Like in January when the fire hit,
He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. So, all right, we're going to hear this fire story. And then it is time for the after party. Guys, remember, if you join the Discord server before the stream is over, you get a free day pass. So it is pinned to the landscape stream, but I just dropped the link in the vertical stream. So I can see as soon as you join, if you join, then you can come and hang out in the members only after party.
Matt Gaetz was a scheduled guest. I think it was January 7th, and he drove.
Oh, I think that's what it was when we were talking about. Was it? I don't know. We did cover that, but when he didn't offer him a drink, was it Matt Gaetz?
Through the fire to get here to keep the booking. I mean,
Wow.
I've had people cancel bookings for nothing, and then we chatted here right up until the evacuation order came.
No way.
Yeah,
Good for him. That's actually really impressive. No, but seriously.
Well, as my catch line is always, everybody's a monster till you talk to them.
Yeah.
And then there are certain things you're obviously going to still disagree about. You know, I mean, Laura Trump was here like last show we did, and you know, as all these shows with the Republicans, I mean, they take their beating like a man. They never ever like get upset when we go back, and I mean, there must have been 6 to 8 major things.
You mean they don't shoot up the fucking people who are saying things that disagree with them? Crazy. You should try it.
That, you know, I just push back on, you know, and 2 minutes later we're laughing, and there's a way to do it where you just cannot expect, you just can't have that attitude of you must come around to my way of thinking or you're dead to me, unfriend you, cut you off, no Thanksgiving for you. It just doesn't work, even if it was the right thing.
Projection. That's you, bro. That's your side. That's your people.
Thanksgiving for you. It just doesn't work, even if it was the right thing to do, which it is not.
Right.
Because you are not God and you don't know what the answer is. And again, imagine 10 reasons why they think differently. People are different. They grow up in different parts of the country. They have a different thing that was put in their head as a child, different personalities. A lot of politics is your personality. People are sometimes just born square. You're a square.
That's okay. So I have a thing about this where the Trump made the right cool, but a lot of people who have the values of the right don't care about being cool. And now people don't know how to be the alt culture. So like, excuse me. When I was a kid, you know, I was into skateboarding, I was into metal and local hardcore shows and stuff like that. And the whole thing, like the allure of that, what is that? Was that it was counterculture. That was something just for our group. And so I didn't get frustrated. Well, I mean, it was frustrating, but I didn't get angry that, you know, the cheerleader girl didn't know my favorite heavy metal song. Now, because the liberals used to be the cool ones, you know, Rage Against the Machine and so on. Now that that's switched, a lot of people, like, namely lifelong Republican types, I don't know if, maybe some of you, this applies to you, but I don't know if y'all know how to handle the fact that, yes, we're right, but we're the counterculture, so people just aren't going to accept it. I think if you're a lifelong Republican and you're a little bit of a square, which is, you know, nothing wrong with that, then you've probably always been on a path where the things that you want, especially if you're very heavy in the church, then you've probably always been doing things, quote unquote, the right way. Not to say you're perfect, but this is the way we do things. I'm going to do that. And then Trump came in and switched that over. And I don't think a lot of people are handling it very well. Now that we've defeated the woke left, obviously they're still here, so there's more work to be done. We've turned on each other, and we need to understand that it is because of the fact that you believe these things, because of the fact that you think these things, people are going to look at you sideways and so on and so forth. Shout out to Mr. Johnson, first name Dick. Thank you so very, very much for stopping by. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe. All right, let's finish this up. I'm ready to after party.
Personality. People are sometimes just born square. You're a square. What party are you going to be? You're going to be in the square party. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just, to hate them for that is just, it's cuckoo.
I mean, I don't, there's very few.
And so now it is the left that is the square party. If you're talking about Gen Z, it's the left that is the square party. It is the right that is the cool, just the oh, there it is. Good catch. All right, no hate on Bill for that in this particular way, but he did do that last time. That's the only reason I was looking. Learn how to be cool. Just be cool. You're cool. You've got the right answers, and you know more than other people. That's why you're cool, because they think the other things.
People that I hate. I think I can maybe name one. But for me, it's about a person's actions and whether or not they are wittingly hurting others and totally okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good standard.
Yeah. And I love political debate. I really do. And I forget oftentimes when I'm engaged in a passionate, political debate that not everyone thinks the way I do, because I'm able to get as fiery as we need to as we're, arguing. But once the debate's over, it's over, right? We just had a policy debate. Like, it doesn't, just because we have different points of view doesn't mean that I'm going to write you off and I'm done with you. I've had.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Funkmaster again, with 5 more gifted memberships, guys. All of you. Morty, please take the fucking treat. Thank you. Remember, you guys can now join this after party. It's free. What else do you get in life that's this cool for free? Nothing. Yep. Oh, we are out. We got one more left. Oh, it's coming out like. There you go, Morty. More. Oh my goodness. Thank you so very, very much. And again. Where's my applause? There we go. Fox with another 10 gifted memberships. That's 15 of you. Who can come over and hang out for free. Come on through. We've already got through the most of the show already, so we can't retread, but yeah, we gonna keep it raging as much as I can. And I have something special to show you guys when we're done.
From points of view doesn't mean that I'm going to write you off and I'm done with you. I've had fiery debates on the show I host and executive produce, the Young Turks, with the CEO of the company and founder, Cenk Uygur. We don't agree on everything, but we have this ability to sometimes get into shouting matches. And then once we're done with the shouting match, we're done. It's past us, And
that's good practice for marriage.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Isn't
It is totally. Because at the end of the day, you're talking to a human being. You're fighting and arguing with a human being. And to distill them as one political viewpoint and nothing more, I think is unfair to them. And people change, by the way. I've changed, right? And going through that evolution has made me far more empathetic to people overall.
Change is good.
Change is excellent.
Yeah. There's nothing stupider in.
Right, and this is where we came in. So we got the whole goddamn thing. Oh wait, you are owed a refill. All right, you're owed a refill from Box. I think we're just gonna empty this out. Let's just empty it out. Let's go all up in there. Okay, I guess there's more than I thought. We're not gonna empty it out. There's more. There's more. There's more. More and more and more and more and more and. Come on. There we go. Thank you guys so very, very much. So, who was... I doubt anybody was actually still here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure, because I want to make sure that this does what I want it to do. So I'm going to close the screen, share this screen, do that again. Then we pull that. Then we do this. Can you hear the music? Just a yes or a no. Yes, no, yes, no. Oh shit, what's going on here? All right. lyrics. Ready? Lyrics. Hey, we got Trey in the building. We got Trey in the building. Quantek knows what's good. Here we go.
Here is the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Lord G, the overlord, in the chair the party is intense.
Let's go!
The gears of the machine are grinding. The truth is hard to find.
Shout out to Quamtech and Music GPT. This is going to be the new opening to every stream. We're just going to be like, I got to make a video. That's the next part, is to make a video. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Do you remember the name of the channel? You guys are no fucking fun. Well, I guess I'll just do push-ups then. Started over. Let's put it on repeat. All right. Let's go. Where we at? We got 62? 62? Wait a minute. Do we add these? Guys, I didn't fucking make the song. It's a fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. This is much better, right? Okay, cool. What's the fucking number? You have no idea how fucking deflating that was. Fuck you guys. I am it. That's just fucking bullshit. What the fuck? I guess it really is done. $97. All right, that's a 48 and a half. We are cutting that in half and round it down. 48 push-ups. Let's go. 6, 7. Oh. $48. Oh, one for good luck. There we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for all of the donations. Very much appreciate you helping me get to 5K. It was definitely a long road here, but like we said, guys, it is only the beginning. All of it. Guys, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Hopefully you will join me in the after party again, guys. If you hit that link, then you get access. So come on through. Once again, Lauren, come here real quick. Lauren, look. Come on. Come in. Lauren, come here. What are you doing? Go, come on. Once again, guys, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.